Hello and welcome to the Arcade Hangout. This is a group of mostly gentlemen. Like to hang out Tuesday nights, chat about arcade collecting, arcade repairs, playing some arcade games, and generally just chilling and seeing what we've done in the last week or so with this hobby we call arcade collecting. I am Orange Whip. I guess I'm your host for this evening and most evenings. And we're just going to go around the room real quickly and hang out. And someone's going to do that all the time. We'll just go around the room real quickly and get a hello from everybody. Let everybody plug their YouTube channels and all that sort of stuff. And I also have one question for everybody just to start off during their introductions. This was asked to us last week by a listener. They would like to know which one game we've had in our collections that we've gotten rid of, that we would either like to get back or we regret getting rid of it, maybe for that price or whatever. And let's just keep it limited to one game. And I know this is not going to pertain to everybody because you might not have gotten rid of a game that you really cared about, but let's just see what we come up with while we're doing our introductions here. So let's go and we'll start off with, let's do Jim Bodini.
Well, this will be nice and brief. I'm Jim Bodini on Clav. Everyone knows me as Jim, obviously. I've actually only gotten rid of 2 games. One was a Monaco GP that was in too rough a shape to even bother restoring, so I gutted it. So I don't feel bad about that. Some other guy used those parts to restore his machine. But I sold my T-Mech to one of my best friends, and that is a really cool game. It's just absolutely awesome. And the only reason why I got rid of it, well, 2 reasons. One, that's his favorite game ever, and 2, it takes up an enormous amount of space. It's like 6 feet by 6 feet. So it's this huge 2-player cockpit game. And as much as I was happy with getting rid of it, I know someday I'm just going to miss the hell out of it. I mean, our deal was basically I get to come over whenever and play it. So
As long as you know who it went to.
Yeah, and he
sure.
doesn't live very far from me, so... And actually, I have to help him move that into his new house they just got. So that's kind of like, salt in the open wound.
Nice. All right. Well, thanks. Let's keep going around. Let's go Crafty next. And he's muted.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
I'm here. Sorry, running the fan. Crafty Mech on Clav, and CraftyMech.com is the website. I haven't gotten rid of a whole game, but there is a PCB that I got rid of, that Gal Plus, so like Galaga 3. I bought it for $15, and it turned out to be a really easy fix. I just had to replace one of the CPUs. So I think my total into it was like $25. And I like the game. I like to play it, but I kind of got caught up in the idea of, hey, I paid $25 for this board, including the CPU. I can sell it for like $125, and so I sold it for the money, and then I still wish I had it because I'd like to get it back. I'd like to get that board back, but it's going to cost me like $100+. So there you go.
Nice. All right, let's move on to Adam.
Sure. I'm Adam, AJCRM125 on forums and onecircuit.com. I think there's only one game that I ever actually got rid of. I'm blessed with a game room big enough to where I don't have to get rid of any of my games, and I think that was a Baby Pac-Man that I sold to John Jacobson for $50. It's actually how I met the guy. But look, in hindsight now, the monitor alone was worth probably $100. So, but it was, the bottom was had seen better days, and it was falling apart. And I just looked at it, and I had so many projects going on, it was beyond what I wanted to deal with. So I just let him have it for a song. But like an hour after I had given it to him, Spaeth actually sent me an email. He goes, "Hey, check out this guy. He just got an amazing deal, close to where you are." And I go and look, and it's him, and it's my game. So
son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know.
And he doesn't even have it anymore.
He doesn't. No, but he got it going. I mean, hats off to him. That was just too much for me to deal with at the time. Like I said, I had so many other projects going on. But it was fun because he did all the work, and then him and I live relatively close, as some of you guys know. So I was able to go over there and enjoy it quite a bit before he ultimately got rid of it. So it worked great for me.
It should be one of those things where, you know, if you sell it to a friend, you should always call first dibs on getting something like that back again.
But see, that's the thing with John. By the time he's done, it's worth so much money. You know what I mean? Because he really does.
Right.
He goes through the whole thing, and he hypes it up on his channel. So any game
my
that he
God,
touches, it's like Midas. You know, it sells for so much.
And everyone else in North America.
And they're all looking for him,
Well,
right?
and coincidentally, that's one of the games that he regrets getting rid of.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, he says he's actively looking for another one. I don't know. We'll see. But it was a fun game. It's just a cool concept and everything. So yeah, I guess that'd be my only one.
Cool. All right, let's move on to Mr. 34K.
Yeah, so 34K on Clav, producer, director, starring in YouTube channel The Bitbar. Games I've sold, gotten rid of, but I regret. You know, I've actually only gotten rid of a small handful of games myself. Probably of all the ones that I got rid of, the only one that I kind of miss is Millipede, of all things. I do have my Centipede Cabaret, but I like the larger trackball in Millipede. It fits my big ass hands better, so I find it easier and to play. So it's at a buddy of mine's house, and just like you're talking about, so when I sold it to him, I was like, all right, he bought my Blue Donkey Kong and my Millipede, and I was like, all right, I get a first right of refusal if you sell these things. So, you know, yeah.
You thought about putting a Millipede multi-kit in the Cabaret?
No, the Cabaret has it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've done the same thing with mine.
No, and I sold him the Millipede that I had in it. Had the multi in it as well. Yeah.
Did that Millipede survive his basement flood?
Yeah, that's a sad story there. So it did. Actually, all of his cabinets really kind of survived. A buddy of mine, that I sold the games to, like, 4 months later, 5 months after I sold it to him, his basement flooded. About, I don't know, 4 inches or so of water in it. So he calls me, like, when it happened, and I, basically, he lives, maybe a half a mile from me, 10 blocks. And so I raced my ass over there and helped him just slosh the games out of the fucking water and into where it was dry, and the whole thing was very sad. So it happened probably overnight, and he didn't tell me until the next morning when he discovered it. So they'd probably been underwater for, probably a good 10, 12 hours. And, yeah, it was pretty bad. The wood survived. It did swell just a little bit along the bottom edges. But the two games that I sold him, the Donkey Kong and the Millipede, both of those fired right up. His Asteroids Deluxe is not working right now. May or may not be related to the flood. And his Tempest, he was having problems with that before the flood. Yeah, so I'm sorry that game went away and then got flooded out. The Donkey Kong actually survived perfectly great because it was sitting up on little stands, and then the base.
Right, there's like a 2 or 3 inch base on that, right?
Yeah, so that's kept it up off, so that just the very, very bottom, and it was a plywood cabinet too, it wasn't one of the particle board cabinets. So it survived perfectly well. And even the base, I was like, dude, if you need to replace the base, we can get a new base built for you, no problem. But no, all that wood turned out great, so that's it.
Cool.
Sweet. Hey, I have a quick question before we move on. I just saw that you have the red illuminated trackball for your Centipede.
I do, yeah.
Have you thought about putting a light behind the marquee?
You know, I have and I will at some point. It's just a matter of finding installing something in there that makes sense and works for it, and then wiring it in. So yeah,
sure.
It'll happen eventually.
Yeah, I did the old cheap Walmart special with mine way back, and that worked out. But I had to shave it down to make it fit in there. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, why didn't they put a light in there?
Well,
and
I guess they did with Tempest though, right? Because Tempest is lit.
Yeah, is that the one? Yeah.
I think it was cost savings.
Right, because you can tell that it was meant to be backlit because there's nothing behind it.
Yeah, and it's a glass illuminatable marquee, so there's no reason why they didn't.
I bought a cheap-ass little strip of LEDs from China that's going in behind mine just to keep the temperatures down.
Right, that's not a bad idea.
And they're actually 12 volt too, so I'm just going to pipe them right into the power supply.
So now I'm going to eat dinner, and someone else can talk.
Yeah,
Well,
I got a pizza too.
Is Buffett, you there? You're muted right now.
What you want?
He's
There
eating
he
some
is.
lasagna.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Buffett, we're just introducing ourselves, and then tell us one game that you regret letting go of or selling if you ever have.
Buffet on Klov, thearcadebuffet.com, and no, because I don't sell or trade many.
That's been kind of
Nothing.
the ongoing theme.
Yeah, I don't know. I've traded a couple, but most of those were like duplicates. So of the games I had, so it wasn't a really big deal. And I've since gotten one of them back, so you know.
Nice. So
Yeah.
it must be a space thing. You've got enough space to store whatever it is that you want to keep.
No, I don't, but I conveniently find new places to put them, so that's the way it goes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we'll keep going then. Chris, you want to go next? Is he there? Seabart? Or is he frozen?
I wasn't sure what Chris you were talking to.
There is only one in here right now.
Oh, okay. Seabart, you can find me on YouTube, Klov, and Twitter. And this is my first game, so I've obviously never traded or sold one that I regret.
There you go. Quick and to the point right there. Let's go Dave from Buffalo.
Dave from Buffalo. I'm MacD 2001 on Klov. I have the bowl of chicken wings and a beer. This is my avatar. I also, like Chris, too new. I have about 4 games. Well, 5. There's a new pickup, which I almost was going to get rid of, so that might be the regrettable one, but I didn't get rid of it. We'll talk about it later. And Dave from Buffalo on YouTube. New videos. That's it.
Cool. Mock?
That's my first machine back here, so I don't have anything that I've let go except for game systems, like home systems, and I regret giving away all my old game systems. So, but yeah, no, I don't have anything.
Anything to plug?
Let's see. No, not yet. Pretty soon, though.
All right, cool. Hobby Lobby signs look good back there.
Oh, yeah, thanks, yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'm Orange Whip. The other thing I'm going to plug is the Arcade Hangout for now. And I had 2 machines that I've gotten rid of that I wish I didn't. One of them I've just recently got back, which is a 4-slot Neo Geo, so I won't talk about that. The one that I did get rid of that I'm somewhat hesitant is I picked up, I'm going to say about 8 years ago, I picked up a Star Wars cockpit for $500. Had no monitor in it, and I was going to keep it, and then somebody was looking for one, and I mean I got, at the time was $1,700 American for it, which Canadian was probably like $2,200, $2,300, $2,400. So I mean I was making close to $2,000 on it just because it didn't even have a monitor in it. And I kind of regret it because I love Star Wars, even though I know a lot of people don't like that game. But I now have 2 Star Wars uprights, and those 2 uprights, which one's going to be for sale, they take up less space than the cockpit did anyways. So I'm happy. I don't need the 25-inch monitor in the cockpit to make me happy. I just like playing the game. So somewhat regretted at the time, but now I'm okay with it. All right, cool. So that was everybody's introductions. So now let's go back and do what we've normally been doing. We kind of tag each other, and we'll go around the room and see what we've all been doing for the last week. And actually, I guess the last 2 weeks now, because last week we didn't actually talk about this. Last week we talked about our kind of the start of our collecting and our video game hobbies. So let's just go around the room and see what everybody's been doing for the last 2 weeks. Some people might have something new. I don't know. I know some people do for sure. I myself actually picked up a game this last week, and then some people haven't. So I'm just going to throw it off randomly to one person. And they can talk about whatever the hell they want to talk about, and then they're going to toss it off to the next person. So I am interested in hearing, Dave from Buffalo, what has happened with your pickup here. And I don't know if you noticed, but I did cut out that huge chunk of the show last week for unless you watch live, no one's going to know what the hell we're talking about, but I chunked that whole sucker out of there, so
I
be careful what you're going to say.
No, I'm not going to say anything. I did. It's my father. He's fine, but he actually had a heart attack, very minor. Like he didn't know pain, but and he had 2 stents put in today. So I was in the hospital waiting while he was doing this, and I was watching the arcade Hangout while he's in getting the angiogram. And I watched it. I'm like laughing because wow, it was a nice cutout there.
At least you got your priorities straight there, buddy.
Yeah. I tried my best. I didn't want you to lose anything, man.
No, it was good. It was good, and it was all right. So the pickup actually, it was funny because my father went in Saturday night, and I was at the hospital all night. He was fine, but they had to monitor him. So I was up all night. Got home about 5:30. Told my wife, I'm like, he's fine, but I got to go to bed. But I had a pickup. I placed one of those ads on Craigslist. Anybody, any broken games or anything you want to get rid of, I placed one, and I got a response. The first ad I ever replaced, anything. So I get a response, and this was maybe on Friday, and somebody responds, "Would you be interested?" They had a Road Blasters that they said was working, except the kids pulled off the control panel, and then some of the wires got disconnected. So I don't think he actually had it locked down for some reason, because I don't know how they could do that. But it's actually sitting right here outside with me because I haven't moved it in the house yet, or in my shed. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I actually have it listed on Buffalo Craigslist because I thought about getting rid of it. So if you want to see pictures of it, go to Buffalo Craigslist. I got a bunch of photos. So I woke up and I called. He had the Road Blasters, and they had a what is that? The World Series baseball, the one with the little, the 2 controls where you can control the pitch. Is that what it is? You guys know what I'm talking about? The baseball game with.
You got a little joystick on the side, right?
Yeah, it's got one on the side, and it wasn't in the original cabinet. He said those were working. Well, I didn't get a price. He had them both on, and the monitors were both on in the photo. And I offered, yeah, there's the Road Blasters.
I like how you can see Mike's reflection there, and or Dave's reflection rather.
Dave, yeah, that's me. But it was in my driveway. That was just there's the Odyssey. I picked it up.
You're wearing the same hat.
Mm-hmm. So I offered, and you can see it's painted.
Do you like any of the System 1 games at all?
I love what's behind you. Is that Bodini who just said that?
Dude.
Yeah.
I'll bet you, because most Road Blasters are conversions. Well, I mean System 1 games in general, but most of them started out as a Marble Madness.
Pull your mic down, Jimbo.
Ha! Good call. Mine was this was a Road Blasters before I converted it, and but I essentially deconverted it because you look up the serial numbers and stuff. Most of these were, like Marble Madness was the first System 1 game. I can't remember what the second one was, but if you look them up, most of them were like the first couple games that Atari put out for the System 1. So almost every Road Blasters is a conversion. So
when you open the door, it does have the Road Blasters. I don't know if they changed that. It's got the Road Blasters, whatever the paper, and outside the PCB.
Like with the dip switches and stuff.
Yeah, it's got the Road Blaster.
The thing to do is look at the serial number and look that up and see if you can find stuff that correlates with that, because that's how I figured out that mine was a Marble Madness originally.
In the kit, didn't they give you a replacement?
Plus, yeah. Well, and another thing you can do is look at the main board and see if it's got the LATA chip, because that chip is specific to Marble Madness because that allows you to use a trackball. The later revisions now like midway through, they still had, like, a lot of the main boards still had that chip on there, even though it may have been originally an Indiana Jones. But that chip is pretty much a signature of earlier System 1 cabinets. The later motherboard or main boards didn't have that chip. So you'll see people on Clov posting, hey, does anyone have the Leda chip or a main board that has that chip on it? Because that controls the trackball. That allows you to use a trackball. So you could look there.
Well, you're talking over my head, Jim. That's why I'm gonna move it here. Let's see. It's sitting over here. But let's see if I can.
Get that Barbie Riggs light shining on that thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Was that the same cabinet that one isometric Atari game, like Invasion of the Robots or something like that? You know what I'm talking about?
Not sure.
I have to look it up. I don't know the name.
The Party Monster one?
No, it's like isometric.
Robot monsters?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Player. That was the same cabinet.
Well, this is gonna go. This is too hard. Let me get back to put it here. But the cabinet is beat, and that's why I put it on. I'm trying to decide. I bought it because I wanted the possibility of the Marble Madness. Oh, let's get back to it before I get into the game. So I emailed, or I talked to him 2 days before, and I said I'll give you $100 for both games. You know, and the picture he had, both monitors were on, and the baseball game was working, and then the Road Blasters, you know, he came on. He had in the photo on Craigslist, he had, you know, it was on, but he said the controls are messed up. So I said $100, and then I get a email. It says, "Call me. Here's my phone number. You know, let's talk." So the person I was dealing with is female online. It's the guy who actually owns the games, and he's like, "Yeah, I sold the baseball game, and I didn't even know where to start with the price." And I'm just like, "I'll give you $75." And he's like, "Sure, that works." And I was like, he said it so quick, but I didn't know. It was it's close, but it was a little bit of a drive, and I just want to I want to know where I'm at when I go there. And when I got there, I could have probably got it for less because he rented the house, and the landlord was taking back the attic where he had all these games in. And
you had to move it out of an attic?
Yeah. Well, he brought it down from the attic, and then I had to go down 2 flights of stairs with him without a hand truck because he said, "Bring it, it's easier." And I'm like, "Holy Christ! They're going to bring this thing down." So we get it down. I didn't plug it in there at all. I'm like, for $75, whatever, that's fine. I should have, because then I could probably got it for $30 because he had to get it out of there. It didn't matter, but I was just like, yeah, it's fine. So it's obviously been painted, but on the one side I started, which I'm not going to do. The paint's like peeling off. It's just coming off like, you know, butter. It's easy. You know, there's 2 coats, but that's just the black vinyl underneath, I guess. And I plug it in, and there's an error. I was talking to Zoltan, and he said probably maybe one of the chips unseated as we're getting down, pulling it down the stairs. But it does turn on. The fan comes on, and the screen's, you know. But there's a blank switch error.
Is it a bank switch error?
Oh, is that what that is?
If that's the case, that's with my Road Blasters. It had the same error. No, was it Road Blasters or Marble Madness? Anyway, it's the same error. That is that was a bad ROM. I went through and checked all the ROMs, and I had a bad ROM, so I just reburnt that, and that fixed it.
Well, the only thing is, I think, because I don't see him taking photos to sell these games, and then, you know, because it was kind of like he needed them out. Like, I assumed he just took the photos, you know, before he, that week when he responded. So I think it was working before we went down all the stairs.
Okay. Well, yeah. Then just try reseating the daughter board.
But one thing, the cabinet is beat. trying to. It says bank, BANK switch. Is that it?
Yeah. That's what I had, and it was a bad ROM. But you could try, obviously check voltages, but for me it was a bad ROM, and you might want to
clean all the pins.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Clean the edge connectors and the fingerboards or whatever on the daughter card.
Yeah. What about the cabinet? Like its speed. This is a particle board cabinet. This is, the only games I have. I have Centipede, Donkey Kong, Punch Out, Asteroids. They're all solid. This is the first. Is this particle board? Is that what this is, Jim?
I'm not sure if it is or not, because all I did with mine was I pulled off the old vinyl, and there was, everything was pretty smooth underneath because they just sealed it. So I didn't have any gouges that I really needed to Bondo. So I'm not sure if it's particle or not. I'm not as wood savvy as some people are, but it's being how heavy the cabinet is makes me almost think that it's plywood.
Atari particle board, which is most Atari games are made out of particle board. It's heavy as fuck.
Yeah, they're really heavy.
Well, the only reason I say because it's messed up in the back.
Is it are there gouges? Is it need Bondo work or?
Oh yeah, it's bad. In the bottom, actually, the leg leveler is busted through. The bottom is plywood. To me, it seems it's plywood, but it's busted through. And I'm looking at this thing. Do I just want to flip this, or just take all the parts out and just sell the cabinet and just keep it because I do want a Marble Madness someday?
Yeah. What kind of monitor's in it?
What's supposed to be in it? Is it the K?
No. Most of the System 1 games, I believe, had a G07 actually in them. A lot of them did. Now mine had a 4600 in it, but I don't think that was original. And I ended up throwing a K7000 in it.
I've seen 46s, 49s, and UGOs.
There you go.
In System 1s that I've owned
that
and
looks
bought
like particle board
and
to
or
me.
sold.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, just particle board usually is always heavier than plywood because it's a denser wood product.
Yeah. See, I'm learning things too.
Plywood is naturally the inherent strength of the grain of the wood is where it derives a lot of its strength from, and particle board doesn't have that, so it's denser to get the same strength in the same amount of space.
And also, usually, like you said, Jim, if it's been sealed, quite often it's particle board. Because if you apply vinyl or paint or whatever, you get the tack stuff to put on the vinyl or whatever as well. It'll get moisture into the stuff, and it'll just start pulling the grain out for that stuff. So they usually seal that stuff first.
Gotcha.
Well, would you guys keep this as a whole, or I mean, it needs a lot of Bondo work on the back, and there's plus the 2 coats of paint, which will probably come off of both sides, but and the bottom, like I said, is totally like a leg lever shoved through. It's not even it's going to need a new base.
Anything is repairable. It just depends on if you want to do it or not.
Yeah, it's how big of a project you want to tackle.
I don't know if I want this. I think I want the parts. I thought about taking all the stuff out just to save, but is that sacrilegious here that I'm going to destroy this thing?
Depends on how high the roof is you drop it off of.
Well, to answer your question, for the boards alone and the monitor and stuff, and the price you got, there's a gazillion. There's a ton of System 1 cabinets out there. I don't think you're really going to commit that much crime. It's not like you're destroying some classic, but
But that said, over time, they do start going away. So anytime you can save one, it's good too.
Right.
It also depends. It might be. I don't know if you've done any stuff on cabinets before, Dave, or done much woodworking, but if you haven't or whatever, it might be a good one to start with. And if it doesn't work out for you, okay.
Yeah, I'm only into it for $75.
Exactly. It's cheap, and maybe just spend some time on it and see what you can do. And if you think you can fix it, then awesome. If you can't, then sell it and try to pick up another one.
Yeah, yeah. It's sitting right. The only reason it's sitting here, I have a shed in the backyard. I was going to put it there because I'm like, let's just not bring this in my basement or my garage, which is a temporary during the summer. I have the garage. Then in the winter, I park the car in there, being the climate I'm in. And I was just going to move in this shed, but I didn't because I got a ramp on the shed. There was no one around. I took it out of my car and put it back here myself. But man, getting it down those stairs, this thing was heavy. And I'm like, Jesus God.
All Atari games are heavy for the most part.
Yeah, even the cabarets are fucking heavy.
Yeah.
Well, I had 4 guys help me. When I picked up my Centipede, I wheeled it out, put it in the Odyssey, and I had 4 guys that work with me in my house, or 3 plus me, just to make it easier to get it out. And then I watch Greg from Arcade Impossible pick up a Centipede, and it's like 2 of them. I'm like, boy, we're wimps. Yeah. I called 3 extra guys.
I load and unload all my games out of my truck myself.
Oh God.
I've come up with a system that makes it work really easily, and
I know when I put that punch out in my basement with those 2 monitors, that is so heavy. My cousin and I were laughing. He's like, "Why are you buying these broken games and putting them in your basement?"
Yeah, I've got a punch out as well. You know what's heavier than a punch out? A freaking Coke machine. Old 60s Coke machines. Holy crap, those things are heavy.
I had a Pepsi and a Dr. Pepper, and I bought them one for $75 and one for $125, and they were in my basement for 2 years. They both were cold as hell. The compressors worked, but I'm like, this is too much for me, and I ended up selling them for $300 both to one guy 2 years later. So there's been more heavy stuff moved to my basement and out. I'm like, what am I doing? And now I'm collecting arcade games. It's just, I gotta collect stamps or something.
Wrong hobby to be in.
Well, that's it. And the Rogue Black, I'm looking at it right now. And when I brought it home, my wife's like, "You actually bought that?"
Yeah, but $75, dude, just for the board set alone.
I know. That's why I go, Julie. There's money here, and I really want a Marble Madness. So if worst case scenario, I got it, and I'll have extra parts later.
Or the monitor, or the control stick, the yoke, or I paid more than $100 just for a cabinet. Empty cabinet with nothing in it.
And the cabinet needs a lot of work. But like the coin doors aren't dented. I'm looking at them now, like they're perfect. Like as piece of crap as this thing is, the coin doors don't have any major dents. There's not rust. It looks decent. If you had crappy coin doors on some, it's.
Just think how much money it would be in the wood and putting it all together. Otherwise, repro cabinets and stuff like that there's so much money because wood's expensive and putting it all together takes time, and sometimes it's easier just to fix something that's a kind of a piece of junk.
Plus, you get the satisfaction of the work that you did.
Say it again?
You get the satisfaction of the work that you did.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah, just like those red tents. I like Crafty's punctuation on that one.
How's the burn on the monitor, Dave? I know Road Blasters is notorious for burning.
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, it's not crazy. Like I've seen worse. I haven't seen that much. Like when I saw the Spy Hunter a few years ago that I didn't buy it, I regret. I could see it crazy. But this doesn't look. I don't know. But like I said, the game I haven't been able to. It's not turned on, but there's definitely burn in the monitor. I can see it.
Yeah, Road Blasters is
and somebody actually that Craigslist said. Yeah, it's Road Blasters burn. And when I put it on Craigslist for $150 just to see, maybe I'll just flip it. Some guy's like, "How much burn? And would you be willing to meet me an hour away, halfway?" I'm like, "Hell no, no, not meeting you anywhere. I'm not gonna put this thing in. I'm gonna keep it. I'll throw it in the shed and take the boards out of it."
And you look at your back door. I just looking at your photos here up on Craigslist. Your back door off. That's particle board.
Yeah, the only reason because it's so different than the plywood ones I have. That's why I didn't. When I first got the Donkey Kong, I thought it was. I didn't know what I was looking at. I'm thinking this is a particle board cabinet, and I remember John saying, "Oh, try and get the the plywood ones." And then when I posted it on Clove, everyone's like, "No, that's plywood." I'm like, I don't know anything about anything. And then
Yeah, there's both. The plywood ones are really light.
yeah, the Donkey Kong's light as hell, but way lighter than this for sure. But
Nice.
that's it.
Anything else the last 2 weeks?
No, not really. I really liked your conversations last week, which I missed, which I got about how you got into the games and everything, and thinking myself, I got a ColecoVision when was my first system, and I really wanted the 2600. The reason that is because it was, I think, 83, 84. I think 84 is when ColecoVision came out, but everyone on my street had a 2600. And what do you want to do is change cartridges, borrow cartridges from friends. And we had Donkey Kong, Smurf, and maybe Venture. I don't know what was the first three we had, but there was a million cartridges. I had a street with like 10 different kids who all had 2600, and they had tons of cartridges. So it was almost like a letdown. We got a ColecoVision because it was the new latest and greatest, and then I was almost disappointed. So
and all your friends with the 2600s wanted your ColecoVision.
Yeah, but I can make the Atari expansion modules, and that's what we got. We begged my father for it as soon as it came out, just so we could borrow cartridges from other people because nobody had a ColecoVision. But that's it. Thanks, guys.
Cool. You want to pass it along to somebody else?
Yeah. How about Adam?
Me. You had to pick me, huh? The guy who doesn't have time to play in this game room. What did I do? I don't know if I did anything arcade related this
About
past
board
week.
repairs or anything?
Well, okay, so I did work on a Punch-Out, got that going for a guy. Tried resurrecting an NES card, a very rare NES card. I think it was Zombie Nation or something. That was a no-go. Turns out there's a problem with the little circuit board, the PCB inside the card itself. So we're going to try to dig up a compatible one and burn some ROMs and get that going. What else arcade-related? Nothing really too much arcade-related. I did promise that I would give you guys a quick tour of the game room. I don't know if you guys are interested in that at all.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so I'm in the basement right now, and the game room is all the way at the other end of the house. So let me see if I can move this over there and not lose you guys. So in the meantime, why don't I move on to somebody, and then I will chime back in when I'm in the game room. So let's go to Mock.
Oh, cool. Okay, I didn't get to talk last week about home game systems because I had a shit ton of them. I started with Intellivision, like some of you guys, and since I talked about where my parents didn't want me going to arcades, well, the deal was they let me get any new cartridge that come out, they would get it for me, you know, being a spoiled only child. But yeah, so it was cool being able to get just about any game that came out. I ended up having almost the entire library of Intellivision games. I had all the IntelliVoice games. I don't know if you guys have ever played those. Like
I have them all.
Yeah, B-17 Bomber or Bomb Squad or Tron Solar Sailor. All those. So that was pretty cool. I had a friend that had ColecoVision, so I'd go over there and he had a lot of games. And I don't know if you've ever played Frenzy on the ColecoVision, but it's really close to the arcade. Very, really awesome rendition of Frenzy. It's a sequel to Berserk, if you didn't know. Yeah, so that, I don't know, I just wanted to share some of my home console stuff. I started with a Pong that came from Radio Shack. My grandpa bought it for me. And then Intellivision, and then but after that I got a Genesis, got a bunch of games for that, NES, Super Nintendo, 3DO. Yeah, I purchased all those though.
You talked about earlier that you got rid of your consoles. Did you get rid of all of them?
Yeah, just about, and that's one of my big regrets because there's some rare games that I had that I look back on and go, oh, I had that one. I wish I kept it. Like Musha for Genesis, that was a cool one, and I don't know, I have regrets on that stuff. Because back in the
I had
day,
all those too, and I kept the Intellivision was the only one I kept.
yeah, I do have the Intellivision console with a handful of games. I don't know what happened to the rest. They got lost somewhere in a move or something. But what was I going to say? Oh, back in the day, EB Games used to do a thing where you can turn in your old game system, and they give you credit for the newest game system. So I remember unloading my Genesis with all my games just to get a PlayStation. So that was a happy, sad day for me. But anyway, on a different note, as far as our arcade stuff, I don't know if you guys probably see it. Well, I'll just tell you. I hooked up a subwoofer to my Spider-Man. I had a friend help me hook it up and show me the right place to plug it in, but it really booms now. I mean, it's got killer sound. Not that it didn't already, but now that you have a subwoofer in there, it really shakes with the bass and everything. So that was pretty awesome. Got that free. My parents are unloading a bunch of stuff, and they're like, "Hey, do you want this? Do you want that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it." So got a free subwoofer and put it in, and boom.
Is that a Pro? Like, did it normally come with an LE, and then there's a spot for it, and you just put it in there, or?
Oh no, it sits the big box. It just sits underneath the pinball table.
Okay.
Do this just to amp up their sound, it already sounded great, but it just really gives it the big booms out of it, So, but yeah, it worked out pretty good.
Is it stealth amplified? Like the amp's built into the sub? Does the sub plug into power?
The sub is its own power.
Okay, so it's amplified then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah. So it came out pretty awesome, and then I moved my signs over there to line up, so they look a little cooler, I guess, and that's about it for me.
Nice.
Yeah. So let's see, who hasn't gone yet, or is
Doesn't look like Adam's ready yet.
And
I think a lot of us still haven't gone.
how about 34K? How's Wacko going?
Well, it's fine. I've got some work to get done on it. So I still haven't rebuilt the trackball. So I got to shoot a video for it, and I still haven't. I've got to get new interconnect cables. I think that's probably that's one of the first things that just needs to get done anyway with MCR games. So the interconnects are still the original ones. So that could very well be the sound problems that I'm having right now. Yeah. So Wacko. Not much besides just kind of getting it into the corner and letting it sit. But this last week, 2 weeks, I finished editing all but the very, very last video for the Big Blue restoration. So I published a video today, which I know, Steve, you commented on.
Yeah.
I watched it as well.
Kind of not a terribly exciting one, but I'm trying the smaller formats. I'm trying to just little bit pieces of the restoration and put those out in the videos more frequently and a little bit more bite size. So
well, that shit's nerve-wracking to do too.
It is, yeah. Well, and like that, all that stuff, the build up to that whole thing to the show, that was like kind of a big deal. So it's like I had already committed to bring the game, so I had to get that thing done for that show. So almost all those videos are shot over 3 days, just like the last 3 days before the show. Literally the night before the show that I had to get the games packed into the van and gone. I was doing that last video to do the assembly on it. So yeah, so I've worked on editing all the videos. Like I said, it's got the one last one that I'll need to publish. I think I have 9 in total, and I think I just pushed episode 5 today. So I've got 4 more episodes of that series. Then Then, then the other big one, of course, is I'm working on the artwork. Kicked off the artwork design stuff for Crankfest.
Nice.
And so got a pretty good direction, pretty solid direction on T-shirt design. Once I get that signed off on from El Gianarino, then I'll dive into the other, the rest of the materials that we need, so the badges and all the rest of that stuff. Once the design is kind of set in stone.
Cool.
But that's it. It's going to be probably a lot of that for the next few weeks because I've got to get T-shirts done and over to Steve by the 15th. So.
Is Steve giving out the T-shirts again like last year, or is it different?
I don't know. We haven't really talked about how we're going to do all that stuff yet.
Right.
Too many people.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be part of it. Because we just don't know. Yeah, it's going to be a big crowd this year, I think. And
is there a registration yet for drinkers?
No, we haven't opened up registrations yet. So I mean, people can start registering if they want. We can go ahead and announce the registration here. I don't care about that. I can't show the design work that I've been working on because even if the stuff that I had was final, I wouldn't want to. John needs to do that shit.
Yeah. No.
So we've got an Arcade Outsiders coming up on September 10th as well. So that's a Thursday. So just so you guys are aware. And maybe we'll have something sorted out. Well, we'll have to have something pretty close to sorted out by then. So, but yeah, pre-registration. So yeah, you can send emails to me at 34k@johnsarcade.com. So you'll need to send me your first name, last name, Clov name, or John's Arcade, or whatever your internet handle is that you want to use for your badge, your hometown, and especially if you're not on Clov, your avatar, whatever you use for your avatar on the forums. So send all that stuff to me, including anyone else who's going to come with you. So you've got buddies coming with you, make sure you send all their information as well. And yeah, email me and I'll start the registration list.
Cool. It was 34K at John's Arcade, is that what it was?
34k@johnsarcade.com, yeah.
Awesome.
And the registrations really help. So if you pre-register with me, you'll have a badge waiting there. If you don't pre-reg with me, you're going to get a badge, but because we have to have the number that's on the badge for the arcade tournament, for arcade. So you'll get a badge at the show, but it's going to be like what we did at Brofest probably, where we have to Sharpie your name in, and it's not going to be nearly as nice of a badge. And Adam, I swear to God, I'll get your name spelled right this time. Or are you coming, Adam? I didn't even ask.
I think Adam's on remote. He's in his garage, I think.
No, I can't make the trip this time around. That's
Hey,
just
Orange, I saw that post you put on Clov about Joe canceling, and then he was thinking like maybe you should cancel. And like, what the hell is that about?
That was just about him canceling Brofest. That's all.
Yeah.
Giving him a little bit of a ribbing.
Yeah. It seems like it's going to be a pretty good turnout, though.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, hopefully the scene doesn't get blown. Hopefully it's bigger and better, not bigger and just
and crazy, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what the capacity is for that building.
Oh, yeah, it's a good question. I remember looking at the sign, too, when we were there, but I don't remember what it said.
Well, and Steve was talking about closing it down for all other people, like making it a private party as well. I don't know if he's going to do that or not.
Well, but he was also saying that he also pisses off all of his locals if he does that.
Yeah, especially as they drive far to go.
Tell him to join the tournament. Doesn't cost anything.
Do you remember how crowded it was on that Saturday, though? That Saturday night?
Well, there's like kids' birthday parties and stuff.
Yeah, and kids out on dates and people in Halloween costumes. Yeah, kids in costumes.
Wasn't there like a grad or something like that? There was a bunch of people.
There was a dance that night.
Homecoming, maybe.
Yeah.
Homecoming would be that time of year.
It was homecoming, yeah. We don't have homecoming in Canada, so.
So, yeah, that's all I got. So, got good artwork going. Hopefully you guys are going to like the design. It's definitely, fun doing. So, Adam, if you're ready,
Adam, yeah.
We'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, good.
Cool. Let me see if I can get this.
He's not back yet.
How's that? Can you see that?
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
Cool. All right. So
Oh, I lost my getaway pin too. I forgot to mention that.
there we go.
Wow.
Nice.
So yeah, so this is pretty much it in a nutshell.
That's okay.
So I'm on the second floor of my garage, and it's like a 24 by 24 room. I'll kind of spin it around, but I get all my games actually to the
Are
second
you guys
floor.
hearing it?
Set of double doors. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I'm not.
I don't know if I can pan back to see it. So there's just a set of double doors here. My brother-in-law owns an excavation company, so he comes in with the backhoe and he has a set of forks that he can lock into, and he just brings the games up. So it allows me to have massive games like this Beast, for example.
Nice.
This is a 6-player X-Men that John and I picked up, I think in New Hampshire. I think I paid $100 for this, $150,
Wow.
something like that. Let me do one thing real quick because I'm getting disoriented. Let me change this so I'm actually looking at what you guys are looking at. Hold on one second. Let me play around with the buttons here. There we go. That's better. So that's my 6-player X-Men. Then we got Mark Spade's Tempest. What's nice about Mark is that he's a single guy with a lot of excess cash, and he's always scouring Craigslist looking for games and whatnot. And but he has no place to put them. And so him and I are good friends, and so he ends up purchasing games that are kind of local to me. Rather than bring them back to his place, he just drops them off here. And so this is one of his many Tempests that he owns. That's an Asteroids Deluxe that I picked up when I started collecting in Vermont. It's a DK that I picked up locally for like $200 or so. Most of these games I actually got in Vermont when I started collecting. Mr. Do, Heavy Barrel, Operation Wolf, Asteroids. That's just like a little motif that I did with those little cutouts and whatnot. A Mega Race that I'm still waiting to get working. This is nice. This is like a commercial air hockey table.
Sweet.
That I got at an amusement park in Connecticut for, I think.
Uh-oh.
You stepped out of Wi-Fi range.
I like the console TV.
Yeah, I know. I just looking at that too.
Looks like we lost him for a bit there.
I couldn't see any of it or hear him.
Oh, weird.
Yeah,
That's weird. I can see and hear.
Yeah, me too.
it just showed his icon on my screen.
Huh.
Bummer, I want to see it.
Yeah, I could see everything until it froze. Just a
Yeah,
second
me
ago.
too.
And hear everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully you can hear us there and kick back in. Did any other you guys ever think about getting an air hockey table?
Not me, but I'm not into air hockey as much as like.
I have room, I would.
Yeah, I don't have room. Those suckers, they couldn't even give them away at the last few auctions I went to. Like they were paying people to take them.
Yeah, they're cheap. They're like $50 to $75 here
Yeah.
for those. And
I really want a ping pong table is what I want.
Oh. Yeah, the sit-down racing games like Arctic Thunder and all those types, those all go for like $75 to about $150. Real cheap.
Yeah, we lost Adam completely there.
They're just such a space sucker. Nobody wants them.
Yeah.
You know.
They're usually pretty cheap around here as well.
Like I was looking at the latest Captain's Auction, the one that I sent you the link on,
Yep.
Warren. They had a T-Mech, you know.
Yeah.
That's the dual tank.
Yeah, I was just
and
talking about
that went for $150. I was like, oh gosh, that'd be so
It's a
cool.
steal.
I think a T-Mech would be an awesome game to have.
It
It's a
is
good
a great-
versus game.
Yeah,
So-
I got mine for 300.
Someone got lucky on that one.
Nice. Well, Andrew, do you want to pass it along to somebody else while we're waiting for Adam to maybe come back?
Sure thing. Well, you haven't gone, Brad.
Nope, I have not. So yeah, this past week, actually, it's been crazy. One of the reasons why last week's episode it didn't come out till yesterday or today. I can't remember when I even put it up.
First thing this morning.
First thing this morning, we had, I think they're calling it like the biggest windstorm we've ever had here in Vancouver. There was 440,000 houses not people, houses without power for 2 days, and some of them are now going on their 4th day without power. So I was, and we're talking everything. So like even my cell phone, like I had no data or anything because they were down as well. Even like 2 days afterwards, like we lost all our food in our fridge and freezers and stuff, and then you're trying to go eat something, like you want to go out to McDonald's or just somewhere to get something to eat, and they're all closed because all the food's been spoiled over the weekend, and of course nobody's shipping anything, on Sundays and stuff like that. So it's been crazy around here for the last 3 or 4 days. So that's why it took me so long to get the episode. I was actually ready to get it out sooner than that, but it didn't allow me. And then, of course, you boot your computer up for the first time in a while, and it's got to do 1,000 updates and everything else. But I managed to literally 15 minutes before the wind and the rainstorm came, and this is also a rainstorm too, a massive amount of rain. I had just pulled a cabinet into my house that I'd picked up from about 45 minutes away from here. So I just made it. I didn't even tarp it. I was like, I can see the sky coming in. I'm like, I'm just going to haul ass. I'm going to go pick this thing up. Not going to talk to the guy very long. Throw it in my truck, get my ass home, and get it out of my truck. And I literally made it by 15 minutes. 15 minutes later, it just was a downpour. It was crazy. And so I picked up a fairly rare, I believe, 2-player upright off-road.
Cool.
Yeah, so I know one other person who's got the 2-player one, and I remember him saying it was really rare. And when I told him I was picking this thing up, he told me that, well, if I didn't want it, that he already knew somebody else that was looking for one for like the last 2 or 3 years. So I figured, well, what the hell, I'm going to pick this thing up. So it was 250 Canadian, which before the show started, I figured I'd do the American conversion for you. It was about 185. And it's monitor's working. The game comes up to just there's no game. It just comes up to like a hashes grid kind of on a screen, but it's consistent every single time. So I'm thinking maybe it was outside the guy's garage. And I'm thinking it's just kind of got a little bit corroded. But again, my power just came on not long ago, so I haven't had a chance to go in and actually pull chips out and reseat them and clean them and stuff. So I'm thinking that's what it's going to be. And the good thing is that I don't think this was recorded, one of these shows, but one of our previous episodes that we got together here, I talked about all of these board sets that some guy had given me for trading him a Centipede bezel, I think it was. And in that was an actual off-road track pack as well, which I think go for $350 to $450. So I'm going to throw that in there as well. I don't think it had one in there to begin with, but I didn't check. The guy didn't have keys or anything. I just grabbed the game and hauled ass home. So I'll have the track pack to go into that as well. So that should be pretty cool.
I've heard a rumor, and I don't want to scare you because I don't know if this is true or not, but because I've heard both ways. But I've heard that those boards do suicide. Yeah,
there's I know there's a proprietary chip on them, like there is for a lot of other games, and when that chip goes, there's no other games that have that chip apparently.
Right.
But from what I've kind of heard is that if you've got the chip in the track pack, it kind of overtakes the one that's on the board or something like that. So there's basically I'll have 2 chips. Hopefully, one of the 2 is working.
Right. Yeah.
And if not, I mean, I don't think the original boards sets are all that expensive. I think I found them online for like $100 kind of thing. So we'll see. The rare thing about it is it's the 2-player upright, not the 3-player. So it's actually fairly small, almost cabaret-ish, because the top, the monitor's really deep inside it, and the top of it is only probably about 8 inches deep. Because the monitor, it kind of comes up, and I was trying to see if I could actually find a picture. Maybe if I'll do a quick picture here, search, and see if I can find it. But it's actually a kind of a nice size for a racing game. It's actually quite small.
Is there any difference between that one and the Iron Man Off-Road?
It's the same game.
Yeah.
The exact game, right?
Yeah, it's just a 2-player cab rather than the 3-player cab.
Okay.
So here it is right here. Let me.
Yeah, I have Stewart's Iron Man Off-Road. That's just the full name of it. Everyone just called it Off-Road.
Okay.
Actually, one of the operators near me has had one of the 2 players for
That'd
sale.
be a really sweet game to have in an arcade room.
Yeah, I mean, they're not, totally uncommon, but they're definitely a lot rarer than the 3-player one is the most common one. But the nice thing is it's just the width of a regular, arcade game,
Sure.
like 24 inches. But that top part is literally like maybe 8 to 10 inches deep at the top there.
That almost looks like a big blue cabinet.
Very similar.
Yeah. Actually, and the funny thing is I actually never looked to see if it had the track pack on the marquee. I should actually go check that.
So what was the damage on this?
250 Canadian, which works out to about 185 American.
Wow, that's really good. The 3-player one went for 600 at that auction, the same one.
Yeah.
Really
No, it was a good deal.
Yeah.
The guy basically, it was the only game, he had it in his garage, and he was restoring a car, and he just kind of wanted it out of his garage. He needed more room, and he didn't have the time to try to pull chips and fix it himself. He just wanted it gone because he had a Carmen Ghia he was restoring. But for Andrew right there, Carmen Ghia.
Oh yeah, no, I used to. I had a girlfriend who had one. I used to drive one all the time.
Yeah, my wife wanted a Carmen Ghia for a long time. We were looking at them, so I saw it. I was like, whoa. Yeah, it was in really good shape. No rust or anything. He just redid all the paint on it.
Nice. He actually drove that Carmen Ghia to Burning Man one year.
Nice. And the only other thing, and he actually might even be watching, I'm not sure, another gentleman that's part of my BC Arcade Collectors Club. I don't know, we were just chatting one day, and he told me he was starting to really get into Neo Geo, so I pointed him to a Craigslist ad that showed up, and it was a Rampage and a Neo Geo for $550, but it came with a box of 15 to 20 Neo Geo carts.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, the Neo Geo carts alone were worth that kind of money, so he got it right away. And kind of jokingly, I was like, "Oh, you can send me a couple carts, for the heads up on the game." And so he actually is. He's saved me 3 games apparently.
Nice.
So you have Windjammers?
No, I might already have Windjammers. I've got a bunch. I used to have Windjammers on my old one that I mentioned that I used to have and that I sold, and I got a Neo Geo back again. I did have Windjammers back then.
Okay.
I got all my originally. One of the reasons why I didn't want to, why I was upset at selling it, because I mean we're in Vancouver, so there's a lot of Asians here, and there was a guy I went to his house. He had an ad on eBay with these games for sale, and I just messaged him on eBay and say, hey, can I just come and pick them up from you instead of you shipping them to me, because we're literally like 30 minutes away from each other. And he's like, sure, come to my house. So I went to his house, and it was literally 2 or 3 rooms of his house, floor to ceiling, all 4 walls were nothing but Neo Geo carts.
Oh.
And they started at $10 a piece, and every single one I bought, they basically came down $1. So I ended up buying, I don't know, 15, 20 carts, and it ended up being like $5 a piece or something like that. And I got every Metal Slug, I had Windjammers, I had the bowling, I had the horse racing, I had like all of them. And I sold it with the cabinet that I had sold back in the day. And now I'm seeing how much these things are going for today, and it's like, holy crap, I could have made a ton of money.
Wow. Certain carts are worth a couple hundred, so.
Yeah, I got one of the ones, some guy out of the blue just sent me a box and had 3 Neo Geo carts in it, and one of them ends up being pretty rare as well. That's like a $100 card or something like that. So this is cool. He's going to give me a few carts, and he's still got a whole bunch of other carts. Some of them are bootlegs and stuff, and he's not into bootlegs, so he kind of rips the chips out of them and doesn't really sell them as working boards, because he's not into that. He likes things to be original, so. So yeah, I think he's giving me a Puzzle Bobble. What do you say? Puzzle Bobble, Metal Slug 2, and another game. I can't remember what it is. Another fighting game, I believe. At least I think he's giving them to me. Either not, he's going to give them to me for a cheap price. Let's see. Actually, I'm just looking through my Hangout that I had with him. I don't know where it is. He had and he has like I said, he got like 15 or 20. So there's more of them there that he said I could have for a decent price if I wanted to. And he has a Rampage for sale, so anybody's looking for a Rampage. Because he doesn't want to keep that. But yeah, that's about all that happened in my world because half of it was no power. And for a city of millions of people, and there's actually now talking about lawsuits about suing the power because we're government run the power here, so they're talking about suing them because so many people lost hundreds if not thousands of dollars worth of food, and they did a really good job bringing it back up because it was a crazy windstorm. The problem is they were not very good, for the communication. Their website was down the whole time. They weren't really on social media. I think all they were doing was like Twitter. And they weren't on like Facebook or anything else. You couldn't call in. Their phone numbers were always busy. It got to the point where people started dying. Literally, I know someone in their apartment building, someone had died, and they basically said because they couldn't get a hold of 911 because so many people were trying to call 911 because of all the down power lines that were everywhere that they couldn't get through for medical emergencies. So it ended up being a big cluster, this whole kind of weekend. So it's been crazy. But yeah, off-road two-player. I'm kind of excited about that one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, so looks like Adam is back in his laboratory again. So I don't know, Adam. You notice that we didn't actually see everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have
cool.
I have a router just for the gamer because, like I said, it's in the opposite end of the house, and it's on its way out. I knew it too, so I knew this was a risk, and we'll just have to wait until I get a new router.
Yeah, we saw half the room.
Half
Next
of
time
it,
we'll see
yeah.
the other half.
I really love that little console corner. I think you guys got a glimpse of that, right?
Yeah, the old console. Yeah.
Yeah, I found a
CRT.
console TV that somebody was getting rid of. I mean, you always find them like on the street corners and whatnot. But I have a PC hooked up to it, that I run emulation for like NES, Super NES, and all that kind of stuff. So there's a set of controllers for each system kind of set aside over there. So if you don't want to play arcade games, you can hang out in the corner and play some console games.
Cool. Yeah, I look forward to seeing the rest of it. All right, so Aaron, have you gone yet? Aaron's muted right now.
No,
I got to go to sleep, so if you want to chime in, I got to do it now.
Okay. Oh, Buffett, you got some updates? Sorry, Buffett's got to leave early, Aaron. So we'll go.
Back. Yeah, that's
Okay, we'll go with Buffett then.
Yeah, not much on the arcade. I did a couple repairs and bought some parts. Other than that, not a whole lot. But just if anybody wants to get in on it, hopefully you air this episode before it happens. But MagFest Classic is coming up on the 9th of this month, 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Oh yeah, it'll be up before then. That's more than a week away.
Yeah, so yeah, if anybody wants to come to MagFest Classic, magfest.org, magfest.org, and that'll give you all the information you need. There's only 2,000 tickets available. I don't know how many have sold, so you got to get in if you want to come, because there's none are going to be sold at the door, because that's all they can hold in the hotel. So, but I'll be there with my games and running tournaments and other things. So come have a fun time.
How many games do you bring in?
I'll have somewhere between 30 and 40.
Nice. That's a lot of work.
It is, and the room we can put them in is not that big, so you can kind of max it out at about 80. But that is cheek, games right next to each other, no room between them, nothing. So 30 to 40 is a good mix for the room.
So you're bringing like half the games?
Yeah, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, so there'll be some others from some other collectors there too, but I'll have a good selection of stuff there. Of course, we'll have a crane tournament. That's always popular. So let's go crane. So I got one of them, which is really fun.
Nice.
It's a big jumbo merchant. Yeah, I need to find some info on the PCB. I don't know how to change the dip switch, the coin settings for pricing. I don't know which knobs do what except for the volume knob. As far as claw movement, if there's a speed controller on it.
Well, there's no monitor in those things, so I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, I'm kind of lost. Can't see nothing. Yeah. So I know one of the pots does the sensitivity, but I don't know which one it is, and one of them does, I think, movement, but I don't know which one it is.
Hold on a second.
Attaboy, Adam.
What's up, ladies? Look at this guy.
You're always figuring out new things. He's
Yeah.
hacking
Y'all gonna-
Google Hangouts.
That's it. Y'all can laugh at Adam here in a minute. But yeah,
I'm sorry,
so
Buffett. I don't mean to steal your thunder.
I thought it's all right.
Or 34K's Thunder.
That's it. Put out a punch-out repair and apology.
There you go.
For an Can't wait. So, but yeah, that's about all I got as far as anything going on. You know, been real busy with the job.
I just read a story like yesterday or today. It was around Facebook or something where they'd finally, and not that everybody didn't know this, but someone had done a study and actually came out with a paper saying that the cranes were actually rigged.
Some are and some aren't. There are rigged cranes. They have a set payout rate that they will not pay out until that's met.
Yeah, it's like a slot machine, right?
Yeah, pretty much. The one I have is not payout based. I can set it if I knew how to. I can set the sensitivity on it.
Apparently,
that controls like the strength of the actual claw itself, or something.
Yes.
Like that. And it'll only hit it like so many, after so many times, and then if you still like botch your aim, it'll be a strong claw, but it won't grab it.
And there goes your one chance, right?
Well, no, not really. After it reaches payout, and the claw gets really, really strong, it will grab a prize.
Okay.
On most of them, it will grab it. I mean,
that's what this.
Miss it, even though it's strong, but it'll stay at that strength until it wins.
That's what this article said. This article basically said that if you're at the point where it's supposed to pay out, and for some reason it glitches and you can't get a prize out, the next person that's playing it's still on the prize mode, and it'll almost to the point where it'll go and pick up a prize on its own to pay that prize out. Like you basically, even if you're way off, it'll be able to grab something and pull it out. They said.
Yeah, like I said, but it all depends if you're close to anything. If you're not close to anything, it won't.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yes, it will grab it hard enough to yank it out of the, from underneath whatever and take it to crush.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and like I said, that's why I like mine. It's not rigged. I go to MagFest and other events with it, and people are like, "Yeah, it's rigged," and I'm like, "No, it's not." And they're like, "How do you know?" And I say, "Because I own the machine." And they're like, "Prove it." And I'm like, "All right, well, out of 10 tokens, I can usually get 8 prizes."
Wow.
So I don't know how to play my machine. So if that's rigged, I don't know what to tell you.
Is there dip switch settings that you can change that maybe?
Well, no, the dips do the pricing and the timer change, like how long you have till it drops the claw.
So it's just a particular make and model that does the cheating and some don't?
Yes, they're the newer ones are the ones.
There's actually YouTube channels that I've just recently, I don't really watch them, but I came across them. Was one or two of them where that's all these guys do. They go around to different parks and stuff, and they do the crane games, and they've got like 1 million subscribers watching their YouTube channels.
Yeah, I watched quite a few of those just to see and learn things and just try to pick up, new things. So, and I like watching it. It's kind of like porn for me.
That's like a big scene in Japan, isn't it? Like, I have a book that talks about like how big that scene is in Japan, where people just line up on all these crane machines and
yeah, they're huge. Like at MagFest, because it's free to play. The last tournament we had at MagFest Prime, which is the big one, which is coming up in February this next year, I had over 70 people sign up for the tournament.
Holy
smokes. Yeah, it took like 4.5 hours to get through everybody.
That's awesome.
I mean, we have a lot of Asians here, and there's Asian arcades, and there's lots of claw machines, and there's usually people waiting at them. There's also they're big on photo booths. There's a lot of games that they play in that most traditional North American arcades never ever even looked at.
Yeah, well, the claw machines are very popular in my area. That's what makes the most money. That's why you see them all over the place here. They're in the malls. They're out in the main part of the mall. I mean, they find the plug in the middle of the hallway, in the corridor, and there's a claw machine plugged into it. If there ain't a kiosk there.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, in Potomac Mills, there is a crane machine, the equivalent in size, except for the tires, of the short bus that you would go to school in. That's how big it is.
Yeah, I saw a video of, or I actually was up at a place where they had a crane machine, and the crane machine was literally like 16 feet tall.
Yeah,
Like you
there's
could sit like 8 people inside the thing.
Yeah, it's nuts. I'm lucky enough. I have one of the bigger ones, and it's pretty close to about 5, maybe 5.5 feet long, and maybe 2.5 feet deep. So it's got a pretty big area. You know, you can get in there and fluff the prizes up, you know, to make it fun. You can put a bunch of different things in there. You got plenty of room to move the claw around. You know, you're not confined into a 1.5 by 1.5 inch square, you know, to try to get something out of. So, and then of course I could always change the claw if I wanted to, you know, for bigger or smaller prizes. But the one I have in there works great, and I have the right size prizes in it, so it makes it really fun and fair. Because you can get 2-in-1s, you can get 3-in-1s, and once in a great while we have people get 4 prizes in the same grab. So if it's rigged, I can't figure it out.
Do you chintz out on your prizes, or do you have good prizes in there?
No, I don't give them away because I don't have the money for it. It's we run the tournament, and between each player, the prizes they win, you know, they hold them up, you know, make a big thing so everybody feels happy, you know, and then I put them back in, then I fluff it again for the next person. So it's always fluffed between everybody.
I'm not sure about this fluffing of things.
You put your arms in and you grab them and you pick up and let them fall away.
So you're doing a lot of fluffing at MagFest, is what you're saying?
Yes, a lot of fluffing.
All right.
It's for a couple hours anyway.
Well, that makes the guests happy. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta get the fluff girl in there.
Yeah.
Hey, this raises a... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, when we're not running the tournament, if I can get one of the helpers, you know, one of the volunteers, you know, that's there at the convention or the fest, I'll give them the bucket of tokens and let them give them to people right then and there to play, so that way the claw machine can be used, you know, not in the tournament, and people can just play for fun. And when the prize chute gets filled up, they just call me and I go over and, you know, recycle them back into the machine.
Crafting for the fluffing at Grinkfest.
Yeah, more.
Yeah, nice.
I'm going to formally decline to do any fluffing at Grinkfest.
I thought we were rooming together.
Oh, Aaron, all those cougars.
Yikes.
Hey, go ahead.
Put that on the badge. Fluffer.
It's the biggest tournament we have. Is the crane. Almost.
Well, that's like a universal thing. Like everyone likes to play those.
Yeah, the next biggest one is either Windjammers or Magical Drop 3, and then a close either second or third is also MVC2. That's really popular.
Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom's a big game. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have anywhere between 25 and 40 people show up for that one.
Wow.
And then at night, as long as we get the sign on it long enough, have it up there long enough, we will fill up both teams for a full round of NBA Jam, and that usually takes about 6 hours.
Oh, wow.
2 on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you have tournaments just on Windjammers alone?
Yeah, just on Windjammers. Windjammers is one of the biggest. We, on average, have 30-plus players.
Wow.
On that one.
That's a fun game, too. So.
It's great. I mean, there's so much excitement around that game at MagFest. I mean, sometimes we have it up on a big screen, but I mean, we'll get the whole crowd. There'll be, 30 contestants, and there'll be another 30 people watching, and everybody will start chanting, jam, 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 and then everybody, a good play, and everybody will go, oh, and then in the last couple of years, usually, whoever the winner is, the crowd picks him up and carries him over to the tournament table to claim his prize.
Oh my God!
It's so funny. They just pick him up, and just carry him, just like you would crowd surf. It's great. Yeah, that's such a fun tournament. Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
I don't think
it's a lot of fun. It absolutely is.
I don't think Steve at Rinkers has even a Neo Geo cabinet, does he? It's too new, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has like a limit.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but he's got it. Doesn't he have a Simpsons or a Turtles?
He's got that back row with some '90s stuff in it, so he could squeeze a Neo in there if he wanted to.
That's one of the reasons why I got rid of my Neo Geo to begin with. Is it was too new for me.
I would take one.
Some good games.
I only have one because of MacFest, because we do the tournaments on it. That's the only reason I have mine. Other than that, I wouldn't have one.
So going
Back
back
in the day, that's the only reason why I bought a 3DO was to play a good version of Samurai Showdown. You know, that game was just like shit back then. The scrolling
and Super Turbo. That was the first console that had Super Turbo.
Yeah, that's sweet. But having a Windjammers tournament sounds like a blast.
Oh, it's great. I mean, there's good players, there's bad players, but everybody has a fun time.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's always. It's just always fun to watch.
A lot of cursing, I'm sure.
Believe it or not, not really.
No.
Everybody's a good sport on it. They really are. You know, you'll get a really good player matched up against a really terrible player, and he'll kill him. But they'll shake hands and say, "Good game."
Well, that's like any other fighting game tournament.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of good camaraderie as far as the tournaments go in the arcade, and yeah, there's not. I mean, there's some cursing because they're having fun, or everybody pulls off a good move and whatnot. But once in a while, but other than that, no, they're always poking at each other. It's just fun.
I hate to bring it back to Grinkers, but yeah, Street Fighter 2 tournament at Grinkers, that shit gets ugly.
Yeah. I gotta play that.
That was fun though.
There was some elbows getting thrown. I'm not talking about in the game.
Yes.
That was pretty fun.
Is what it is, you know. So
nice, dude. That's gonna be so much fun.
Pretty well fueled by dollar beers.
Oh yeah. Hey, going back to the
when we were playing
God damn it,
Warlords, that got ugly. I thought I lost like $16.
Oh yeah, the Warlord tournaments go crazy too.
Yeah, but that was still fun. But then the guy that kicked my ass is like, he owns one, so that's why he was so good at it. Like, I should have known better.
That was Drewster winning all the.
Yeah, Drewster, that's who it was. Yeah, I turned to him after I was losing so bad. I go, "Do you own one of these?" He's all, "Yeah, I kick everyone's ass on it." Yeah, okay, I'm leaving.
But another favorite tournament for Redemption that we have there is Ice Cold Beer. We have an Ice Cold Beer tournament every year.
Oh, that's a cool one too. It's fun.
Yeah, we have a pro bracket and an amateur bracket in that one because there's between 4 and 6 guys that show up every year, and they just kill everybody at the game. So we have a pro tournament or a pro bracket. If you breach 2,000 points, you're automatically entered into the pro bracket. That way, the other guys have a chance to win prize money.
Hey, go back to that picture.
Zoltan and you.
Yeah, but I don't think that actually ever happened.
Yeah, it did.
Where was?
Yeah, that was on our way to John's house.
Oh, that's right, in the fucking that gas station we stopped.
Gas station and pizza place and.
Andrew, how can you stand like that? Your left foot is like this.
That was like the stance, man. I was thinking that thing some fucking work.
Looks like your knees should break.
You weren't actually playing. You were just posing.
Yeah, that's like you're faking it.
You're a poser.
I totally forgot that we did that.
Yeah, I have a lot of photos that I actually haven't. I should share them with you guys.
I have a few of. I have that one selfie of the group of us in the car that I never posted.
Nice.
I can't believe a gas station has that many arcade games in it.
That's why we just stopped and took the picture. I totally forgotten about that.
Crazy.
That's why I was like, that's Photoshop. That's not real. I don't even. What the hell was I doing?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to jet. So if you guys got any questions or anything.
No, hang around, Buffett. I have a question. So going back to the crane machines, that poses an interesting question. Would any of you guys consider owning one if you don't already? Like for me, personally, like when like down the road when we have a house and stuff, I was thinking about getting one just for like our nieces and nephews and the kids coming over. I think that'd be a lot of
asking
fun.
me in the chat if I can hear him, and I can't.
You can?
I can't hear him speak. It's weird. I'm having issues.
All right.
Everybody else.
I bought I have a chicken egg machine.
Okay.
So instead of a crane, you know what a chicken egg with you put it.
Yeah.
Actually, I had the chicken egg machine. I've sold it. Then I actually got a Flintstones one now.
Oh, and it rotates inside.
Yeah, and it has little prizes inside the eggs. Yeah.
It says Dabba Dabba Doo, here's a prize too, or something like that.
Yeah, we went like after Easter one year. They were clearing out, Target or whatever, Walmart. And we got all the empty eggs like for next to nothing. We bought like 1,000 of them just to have them stockpiled. And then every once in a while, my wife finds in the birthday sections of dollar stores, you can get erasers and tattoos and stuff like that, and she'll just sit there for an evening and stuff them all into the eggs.
That's how I got my wife's engagement ring.
Yeah, party.
So that's what we're doing instead of having a crane machine. We have the egg machine.
But in reality, for the average person, don't get a big one like I got unless you have the room. Just get you a nice big choice. They're not rigged.
Okay. What's it called? A big choice?
They're called big choice. There's ones that are just up and across, but you can put a joystick in them. You just flip the dip switches.
Okay.
And then add the extra controls, and you can use joystick or up and across. But they're like I say, for a smaller game room, they're really fun. I mean, they genuinely are. Everybody likes the claw machine. Kids love them.
Yeah.
So it is like I wish I had mine here so I could play it. So
you can even buy. I mean, you probably want a real one, but you can even buy like a consumer tabletop ones that are like no bigger than John's popcorn machine that he has on his table.
You can get those. The smallest one you want to go is they don't make them anymore, but the equivalent size to the Little Diamond. That would be the smallest you would want to go, because anything smaller than that, it's not really very fun. And even though that one's pretty fun, the drop is only like 8 inches for the claw. That's all the further you can go down. It'll go down because that's how small it is.
Right.
And it's only like 1 foot by 1.5 feet at most or something as far as the play area. And it's the same size claw as you'd have in a jewelry crane. So you can imagine, if you watch Matt 3576 a lot, he has a Little Diamond. And there's really not that much action to it. It's fun to watch, and it's probably fun to play for people that don't get to play it very often. But as far as the real experience, look around for a big choice.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, and the big choice, as far as I know, fits in a non-standard. What is it? 2.7 and a 3.0 door.
Oh yeah.
I think it'll fit in the smaller doors, I believe.
Okay, sweet.
So you can get it in your house, I believe.
Perfect.
They're called the crane machine or a claw machine?
Crane, well, both. The crane machines, claw machines, but yeah, it's big choice.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So they're running about $600, $400 to $600.
You can find them anywhere between 100 and 600.
Yeah, this is eBay. I'm talking.
Yeah, eBay, they're roughly between 5 and 6 on average.
Yeah.
But I got both of mine for free, so.
Yeah, I've seen these at auctions when we had auctions around here, and they're the same thing as like the air hockey tables we're talking about. You couldn't give them away to people.
Yeah. Here cranes at auctions go for big money because they're big money makers.
Right.
That's the way they're up here. But I mean, all you got to do is catch the operator, that's got one end because it's broken for belts or needs a new coil or something, and say, hey man, what do you want for that?
Is the maintenance pretty easy then? Belts and stuff?
Yeah, all that's pretty easy. They're not all standard belts necessarily, but they're all still readily available. There's one or two, like I forget what company it is that I think services the Big Choice and the Sugar Loaf machines. I can't remember if it's one of those or it's another company that actually still fix and support their products, even though they're 20 years old. They'll still fix their PCBs and stuff. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, I forget which one it is, but they're still out there. Now, some crane boards are expensive. They're $500-600 for just the board. But
okay,
so you got to be careful. Does it work or not? Is it the board works and the rest of it broke? Then that's good to get cheap. So you can.
So you want more mechanical failures or maintenance than like electronic.
Yeah, and the power supply in mine is a regular switcher. just like you'd put in
Gotcha.
Mortal Kombat or something.
Yeah.
It's nothing special about
Sure.
it. It's just a regular switcher. So
Okay.
I just wish I could find some information on my particular one to know how to change the settings. That's the only thing I don't know about mine. It's set for 50 cents, or 50 cents or 2 tokens, whichever, and I think 15 seconds on the timer, which is not bad.
Sure.
So, and like I say, I know which one the volume knob is. I know which, because I can follow the amplifier.
Did you see the link that Seabart posted for the strong and low and timer or bonus settings? That was pretty cool. He posted a link to I don't know which version of a crane machine it was, but what was it? Hot Stuff Toy or something like that. But it's pretty cool. I didn't know that you could set like settings for the timing when the claw was the strongest and when it was the lightest.
It's mainly based on how heavy the prize is.
Oh,
So
really?
you don't-
Okay.
Yeah. So the ideal. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Bubba.
Yeah, there are some claims, like he's saying, that you can actually set so when the claw goes down and it picks up a 2-ounce prize, it knows it's a 2-ounce prize. Is it ready to pay that out yet? Yes. If it's a 5-ounce prize, is it ready to pay out a 5-ounce prize? Yes or no. And you can set them for that payout, each individual weight of your prizes. Yeah, they're getting incredibly smart, and those are also the ones that are rigged.
Huh.
Yeah, so you want to stay away from those. Like I say, the ones that you want to play are like most of the Sugarloafs, the up and across. Like mine is called a Jumbo Merchant, is what it is. What my marquee is on mine. It's by DDV Electronics, and I can't find any information about that company.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, you got to be careful with the new ones. If you want one that's fun and fair to play, you got to find, like I say, the big choice.
Okay.
Up and across. Or,
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. So I mean, having the other ones is fun because you can kind of get an idea how they play, and you can win on them even though the claw strength is not set. But you got to learn to look for where the prizes are in relation to it, because a lot of them will pick it up and drop it, but they'll move it just a little bit. So if it's closer to the prize sheet, you can kind of work it over.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah, all the techniques. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just got to be. It's a hit or miss, and you just got to watch people play them. Look at the names, go home, Google them, see what people say on it. Kind of thing. So it's a big world on all the new ones. The old ones, they're pretty much the same. You either get it or don't if you're good enough. And if the prize is in the right position, of course. That has a lot to do with it, and how the prizes are positioned.
Gotcha.
So, But yeah, they're fun overall. I recommend them for if you've got a big enough game room. Have one, just for fun. So, I mean, I like playing mine. I just can't because I don't have it here. It's too big. So I can't get mine in my house. It's too big. Well, I think I can. I might have to take the door off or the front panel that has the coin door and everything in it. I think that comes off. I might have to take that off to get it in. But I don't have any room in here anyway, so it's kind of a moot point.
Gotcha.
It's just a warehouse all day long, all the time. So until it goes to conventions and things. So, but yep.
Well, it sucks that you're leaving because I was thinking about doing a Marvel Madness gameplay tonight, show some of the shortcuts, but maybe I'll do an eyes instead since you got to duck out.
Yeah, well, I've got to be up at about 6 o'clock every morning. So.
He always watches them afterwards, anyways, too, Jimbo. So
yeah, I've been waiting on you to upload the last one. You finally uploaded it, so I can.
You heard the reason why. No power, baby.
I know. I was wondering about that. Why it didn't come up. But
we should definitely do some gameplay today. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I've got 2 USB extension cables, so I was trying to decide between the 2.
Marvel Madness.
I haven't played that for a while, so I'll probably suck.
Why don't you set it up and we'll pass it off to Crafty?
Yeah, do it.
So.
Before Crafty starts, I want to apologize to Jim for cutting him off. I couldn't hear him, so it's going to be to watch this back later.
Me and Adam were laughing our asses off.
Oh, that was great. You see the comments?
It was like 4 times I was trying to ask the same question about the crane machine.
Yeah. So I'm gonna watch this back, and I'm gonna look like a big asshole. So I'm
Just
sorry.
watch Jim's face because like for 4 times he's staring at the camera. He's like, "What's going on?"
I left the room and came back in, and now I can hear you again. So I apologize for that.
No, dude, it's all good. It was pretty funny, and we got some entertainment out of it.
I'm not, honestly not an asshole. So
No, it's all good.
it's like a lot of years in me.
Well, before I go, it's been fun, everybody.
Thanks.
All right. Yeah, good to have you back again, Buffett.
All right.
Yeah, Buffett.
And yep, and I'll watch whatever gameplay video you do, so you can choose whichever one you want.
Maybe I'll do both. We'll see.
Don't work too hard, Buffett.
Yeah, the last 2 days have been about 18-hour days, so it's been real tough. So I'm real tired. But so, alrighty, fellas. Well, I'll see you guys hopefully next Tuesday.
All right.
See ya.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Yep. Have a good evening.
Later.
So
Cool.
I guess we're gonna pass it on to Crafty.
All right. Yeah. So first off, I've been helping Matt Osborne test the Site Bike free play and high score save, and he's officially put that out now. If you saw the link on Claw, I don't know if he's put it up for download yet, but he's offering to burn sets for people that are in the thread on Claw. He hasn't officially uploaded it for like the world, but that should be out there if you're interested in checking it out. The
He will have it. He will have a download that you can burn yourself though, or
yeah, he should have that soon. I think right now he's just offering to burn sets because he has a few extra sets of ROMs, but it's a 2-ROM mod, so you just have to replace 2 of the ROMs.
is that scoresaves.com?
It's not up on ScoreSaves. He's only doing
That's
it
a site though, right?
Yeah, that's his site, but he's only doing it on Clav on the thread. There's a thread for it on Clav in the general forum about the ScoreSave stuff.
Dinging.
Andrew's laughing at my dinging.
So he won't be ever be putting on ScoreSaves at all?
No, he's gonna put it on ScoreSave.
Okay, gotcha.
Right now, he wanted to put it out there kind of slowly, just in case.
I said actually got a Revenge of Doe on there too. I didn't notice that before.
Yeah, he's got a lot of different.
And an Eyes.
The only catch is that
Dr. Mario too. Sweet.
Well, I think that was something he's going to work on. I don't know.
Yeah, it says in development. Yeah.
The only catch is you can't put the versus high score save and the Super Mario Brothers score save on the same versus board because of the way Super Mario Brothers uses that NVRAM. So that's just kind of the way the versus is set up with that game for whatever reason. So it has to be on 2 different versus boards if you want to have both of those with their score save kits installed. So that's the only catch. But yeah, it's great. It saves track time, saves your high score in the top 10 table. So it's kind of cool now because you can actually playing for score on Excitebike is fun, but if you don't write down and remember your scores, you're like, well, did I beat that, or playing for really your best track time. So now at least you can. So that's pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's out there, and then just been working on the Junior. I pulled the old base off. Got rid of a bunch of spiders, put a new base on that Sam Yo on Claw Forums had built. He built a few for some repro cabinets he was doing. He had some extras, so I took one of his extras and put it on this cab. Works great. I had to patch a hole in the floor of that cabinet because the wheels were missing, and I think the wheel had probably caught on something and ripped out part of the board. It's plywood, but it ripped out part of the plywood, so I patched it all up, bondoed it, filled it and bonded it, but I'm not going to put the wheels back on because I don't really trust that corner, even though I rebuilt it. I don't trust that corner of the floor to support a wheel without maybe ripping it out again. So I usually move it. I have a dolly, and that's probably what I would use to move it anyway. So I think I'm gonna leave the wheels off, but if I do put them back on, I'd put them on the actual base, which I think Fett did on his Cabaret DK. And Jeff Waldron, Jeff's games, he also did that on a Fix-It Felix that he converted from a blue DK to a Fix-It Felix. He put the wheels on the base because his bottom of his cab was shot too. And I was talking to him, and he says it works pretty good, except you just have to lower the cab a lot lower than you normally would, and that kind of puts it below that 45, that little fulcrum, so you do get kind of the weight of the cab more if you try to roll if you put the wheels in the base. So I'm still undecided, but I got the side art from John today from Exidy. He had an arcade shop set that he wasn't going to use, so I'm all set. Hopefully in the next week or so I can finish cleaning up the cabinet and finish the conversion to Junior, and it'll be done, and it should look pretty nice.
Nice.
So yeah, that's me.
Cool. Are we who?
Who hasn't gone yet?
I have not gone yet. Dicks.
Jimbo has not gone yet. Are you sure about that, Jim?
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight, folks. So
We'll see you later.
Sorry, guys, you gotta go. Okay, well I'll pass it.
I didn't do a whole lot, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I had in-laws come over the last weekend, and which includes my, what would it be, cousin-in-law, my wife's cousins. So, and they're 12 and 15, and it was the first last year when I came over. I had just finished Marble Madness, but I had not done anything with the Red Tent yet. So they sat down and they got really into Super Mario Brothers, and they had never played it. So it was like a flashback for me. Like these kids that got so into Super Mario Brothers, but they had never played it before. So it was pretty sweet to watch them. Like really, I took a lot of photos. I haven't posted them yet, but it was pretty cool. And then they also got into Marble Madness quite a bit. Like they were playing 2-player games. They were trying to get to like the 3rd, 4th level, and just like getting frustrated but not giving up. So it was pretty cool. It's always fun watching other people enjoy your stuff. So that was about it.
Sweet. That's all.
I was like, no one's talking. Can they not hear me?
I'm gonna stay quiet.
That is definitely. Oh wait, sorry. Were you talking, Steve? I didn't want to interrupt you there.
Yeah, I don't wanna. I'm not gonna say anything.
Does this look all right? I don't know.
It's a little off center, but it's you can see the screen.
Yeah, I can't put it directly center, otherwise I'm gonna bump into it. So.
We still have Chris. I think has to go. Is anybody else? Is everybody else gone? Well, let's do Chris because I'm sure he's pretty quick because he only has one game anyways. Unless he's bought something else, maybe I don't know. And then we can go back for the gameplay video after that. How's that sound?
Word.
Okay, Chris, you wanna update us on what you did?
Well, I got the good, the bad, and the ugly report on this one. So I got the new board in, and the only issue I have now.
So you bought a new board?
Yeah, I found a new board. Came in on Friday. Bought it last Wednesday, so it's pretty quick shipping. The only problem is I still don't have red, and I haven't checked because that's one of the 3 wires I had to splice was the red from the connector to the chassis. So I'm thinking that splice might not have gone properly. So if I turn up the drive and the red pot, the red comes up onto the screen, but it's not staying where it should be in the track where they run and in the logo. Pretty sure my splice might be bad unless there's another method to that madness.
Unless there's something wrong with the monitor.
But if he's getting red, usually it's there either, unless it's a tube issue, like it needs to be rejuved.
Oh, see, that's the thing is, like if I turn the red up to where I can see it evenly across the screen, like with using the drive or the red adjustment pot, everything goes red, but it's almost like it's not getting the signal of where to put the red on the axes.
Before I killed a page, typically that's not a tube problem. It's also it can be a game board problem, it can be a wiring problem, and it can be a chassis problem. If you can turn up the red drive and it blows out red, then you are driving the red gun. The neck board is doing its job. It can be a broken trace, cold solder joint, or bad transistor on the chassis. It can be a handful of other things too. But those are the most common. But I would check all of your wiring. Stick your voltmeter on DC, stick the negative lead in the ground, and stick the positive lead in the red, where the red goes. If you do not see voltage there, if it's 0 volts, then you're not getting it from the PCB. If you're getting volts there on the video header, then your PCB and your wiring is good. You have a problem on the main chassis itself. Because if the neckboard transistor didn't work, it would not blow the screen red at all.
Thank God Buffett sticked around.
Pro tip there, yeah.
Yeah, definitely have to try that one.
Yeah, so check your voltage on the pin. If you've got a way to put a test grid up that's only red, that way you will see a constant voltage on the screen.
Otherwise it'll keep fluctuating.
Yeah. So if you can get a test pattern of some vintage up,
even if it's a color
bulb, you can
do you have a
green.
TPG yet?
Yeah.
I will as soon as Crafty Mac builds it.
Ah.
So yeah.
That was another plug for Crafty.
Let me see where you're at, and I can't remember where you're at in the list here.
3 weeks ago, you said 6 to 7 months,
that's right.
6 to 7 weeks, or something like that.
Kind of far down there, yeah.
Yeah, I only ordered 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Or 2 or 3 weeks ago.
So. Try all that and see what you find out.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that this week. Maybe tonight.
Everything else seems to be working now?
Yes, everything works. The issue I had with the player stations being backwards.
Yeah.
When I was soldering, or when I was putting the wires onto the leaf switches, when I did the player went through 4 buttons, I was facing one way, but then the sun started setting and the glare was killing me. So I stood up and switched sides, and I accidentally put the wires from station 1, or so from player 1 and 3, and put them on to 2 and 4. So that's how the stations got flipped.
Nice.
So have you tried your old board in there again then? See if it works still?
The old board still has the same issues. So the only issues that remain that are on the old board are no audio. The new board has lots of audio, and it's extremely loud. It woke my mother up. That almost got me shot. And the when you push the run 2 button, it does all the work for both the run buttons. But the new board has audio. It has the you have to hit the run 1 and run 2 buttons in sequence, otherwise the guy doesn't move.
So the audio could be pretty easy fix. I mean, it could just be the capacitors on the.
Oh no, the audio works.
Not on the old one.
Not on the old one.
Right. So on that one, that could just easily been the capacitors that popped.
Yeah, but I replaced the capacitors. I had audio after I replaced the capacitors, but then after a while, when I was leaving it to do a burn test, it kind of just stopped making noise altogether. So I think 34 mentioned this, that it could be malignant issues of the 24 volts or the 12 volts that accidentally got put onto the wrong pin.
Yeah, it's weird that it, if you put new caps on it, it actually worked and then it went away again. That's kind of odd.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Is the volume pot on the board on that, or is it a separate pot?
There's actually one on the board, and there's another one inside the coin door.
So maybe check, because if the potentiometer for the audio on the board is bad, that could explain why it's if it's just dumping all that sound all to ground. It could be that pot is bad too.
Oh, sorry, I replaced the caps to see if it would fix the audio. I'm just reading my notes.
Right, but there should be the potentiometer for the volume control too. Could be Andrew's saying that could be causing the audio to go away.
Okay.
I would try exercising that pot first. Just back and forth, brushes inside of it. You'll run over the speaker and kind of clean stuff off a little bit before you put anything in there.
Yeah. So I noticed that it was a little on the old board. It was a little gritty when I turned it to when I turned the pot.
Yeah.
So that might just need a good shot with a good cleaning.
Right, and be careful if you use contact cleaner in that pot. If you decide to go that route with it, I would try definitely exercise it first. So sweep it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and see if you get any change.
Okay.
But if you just do decide to use contact cleaner in that, make sure you use the blue can stuff, not the red can stuff.
Yeah, I'll probably just try exercising it because again, it still has that one issue with all the run button, being done by the run 2 instead of by both in sequence. So
right, but if you
still
get the audio
small
going, then you're basically just down to one problem.
Right. Yeah.
I'll check that pot, see what's coming out of it. I think it's a 2K pot on that.
Yeah, I mean the other thing would be just to desolder that pot and throw that on a meter and see if you're getting a change.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that tomorrow. With my luck, I burned my foot so late in the week. Sorry, burn it again.
It's just that pot.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you could get that board, even the old board, back up and running again.
Yeah, you have a backup then. That'd be great. Or sell it.
Yeah, but I don't know where that where the run button issue could be. That could be somewhere down in an IC or an EEPROM. But I don't have anything to test those with.
Yeah.
Go get me one of those EEPROM checkers.
Yeah. Well, you'd be better off getting. I'm trying to see where mine is right now, and I'd show it to you. The G4, what is it, G4XQ or whatever the hell it is?
Yeah. That's definitely the one to get.
Yeah, they're actually shipped from. They're shipped from me, Chris. They're actually from Burnaby, in Vancouver here. So it'd be no import duties or anything like that. It'd be coming right from Vancouver.
And
I don't even know where the hell mine went.
It's a G4XQ.
I can't remember what it's called. So I'm trying to see where mine is, but
It's a GQ4X.
GQ4X, yeah.
It's
What happens when you clean your desk? You can't find anything anymore.
this guy right here.
Okay, I just found it online.
Here, let me present it, Andrew.
Okay, so that does all the standard size ICs.
Yep.
Yeah, it's about $100.
About $100. Comes from Canada, so that'll be easy for you. And it's USB, so you don't have to like build a 98 machine or anything crazy like that.
Yeah. And it's also what Crafty set up for the TPG to be updated with. It's really easy to update it using that.
Oh, cool.
That thing. So.
Where
it ships from like 15 minutes from me. So.
And same place also sells. You may as well get it at the same time, but they sell the Chinese EEPROM erasers as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's exactly what I bought. Both of those from the same place.
Yeah, same place. So yeah, pick one of these up. These are cheap. These are like $10. It's just basically a little UV light with a drawer and a timer on it. So these are cheap.
Yeah, if that doesn't work, you can use one of the reptilian, like those pet lights.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't need those on very long, I found out. Like 5 minutes tops. But I have the exact same eraser that both those guys have too. So.
Yeah, they're cheap. They're like $10-15.
What's that site that's based in Vancouver there?
I'll look it up if someone else knows what it is right away, I'll look it up and see if you can find it.
MCU Mall Electronics.
There you go. That's what it was.
Yeah, mine's the exact same. It just doesn't have the Chinese stuff at the bottom. But yeah, works great.
Oh, there you go, right there. Looks like they have a new one. They have a GQ5X, or is that something different?
Oh, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah, they're like $99 US.
Yeah, so Canadian, they're $1.25. It says.
They have different. What's the difference in the packs? They have a full pack and a light pack.
I've got a 6-pack myself.
Nice.
Get it?
I used to, then I drank mine.
Oh, I'm talking about beer. Oh, you're talking about... Oh, okay.
And they have a new one. It looks like they got the GQ5X now. I'm not really sure what the difference is. But.
All right, I better grab another beer.
Okay, well, you're going to be up here any second. So I think Chris, you done?
Just the coin switch issue. When I was testing to see what happened, why the switches weren't coining up, I just put the instead of normally on a switch, at least the ones I've seen, it's a common normally open, normally closed. But this one, the closed and open pins were reversed. So that's why my coin mechs weren't coining up properly.
Right, because it's always open.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a whoops.
So you had a few wiring issues, you're saying?
Yeah, well, I'm used to I was trained on the newer crap games that use horrible LCDs and all the other garbage. Personally, I like the thong of a degauss coil going off.
Next time you'll just get the adapter and be done with it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the other thing is the old game that was in it. There was like 10 extra buttons, so each player had a four-way joystick and an additional button as to the three at the stations on this game. So we've had to do some rewiring anyway.
Speaking of track and field, are any of you guys subscribe to Hector's YouTube channel? He's been throwing up some videos of track and field play.
All I know is that guy's been dodging me in Street Fighter since last Grinkers.
Yeah, he's been throwing up some. I don't know if he's just kind of playing it again. He's maybe anticipating Grinkers. I don't know. He's been throwing up some games that he's got. I don't know, 94,000 on 95,000 on one run.
What's his channel?
Oh, give me a minute to.
I made it to track 7 on Excite Bike, so I'm coming for his record.
Oh wait! Oh, I see it. Wait, that's not his channel.
It's Hector. It's Hector something.
Well, I see Hector Fly is the first thing, but
that's it.
Is that him bench pressing and stuff?
Could be.
It is Hector Fly. That is him.
Oh yeah, no, this is totally him. Never mind. I want to look at his weightlifting videos. Where are those?
So yeah, he did the 100-meter dash. He did it in 7.64 seconds.
Jeez.
Just watch that. If you haven't, if you guys ever seen Hector at Grinkers or his other videos, go to Hector Fly on YouTube. Check out his third newest video.
I just subscribed.
Just listen to his fingers. It's great. It's like a machine gun going off.
Yeah, it doesn't sound even possible. It's just like yeah.
And then he does. What was he doing? Oh, he was doing like the long jump, and he's just doing it with one finger doing this even, and he's like, only has one bar left to go on the speed meter, and I can't even get it remotely close to that using two hands, and he's just using one finger, and he's got it almost at full bars by the time he's doing his long jump.
Well, talking about Street Fighter, Andrew, you'd probably understand this, but it's no wonder that he plays Honda, because pianoing that 100 hand slap, especially the fierce version of it, is one of the most difficult things to do, and so it fits him perfectly.
Like, he's got a video from a week ago, track and field arcade 90,000 with one hand, and in the other hand he's got a beer, it looks like.
Okay, I just saw something interesting in the video he has here. He's only using one button when he does it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He can do both.
Well, isn't it a fact with that game that if you're using both buttons and you overlap the press, doesn't it kind of cancel it out? Like they have to be successful. Like,
yeah, I think it only registers one button at a time, right?
Right.
Yeah, and you have to alternate them. Like,
that's why his two hands with like all four fingers going down is absolutely crazy. Then he can get them to separate like that quickly. It's insane.
He makes it look so easy too. I mean, like, you're like, oh yeah, I can tap my fingers like that, but in the same exact spot on one button.
We were asking him at Grinkers last year, like, how the hell are you doing that? He's like, well, I just started off doing one finger at a time like this, alternating them. And then he just started getting faster and faster and faster and faster, and he does what he does.
It's one hell of a skill.
Yeah. No, Chris, you totally need to watch Hector Fly's channel with all his track and field stuff. He's crazy. Is he the world champion, the record holder?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think he is, right?
Yeah. I just subscribed.
He also has Hypersports too, which I'd be interested in seeing. I don't know how good he is at that, but he must be obviously pretty good as well.
Holy good, he's got a lot of track and field on there.
Well, he's the world record holder.
Okay, good guy to be a role model for this one.
Yeah, and if you can make your way to Green, I don't know if he's going to Grinkers. He was there last year.
Yeah, I haven't heard either way yet.
Yeah.
He said he's going. Oh, shoot.
Is he? Sweet. Yeah, just sitting there and watching him play Excite Bike. Like, I think John just had a video just before that he put out, and there's a couple things that I didn't know about in Excite Bike, and then watching him play, and him just kind of describing stuff as he's playing it, and then he just walked away from the game with I can't remember how many lives just because he already had the high score by a long shot. And it took I think it took like 45 minutes for the game just to kill all the lives so you could record his score at the end.
Yeah, 45 minutes. They would just sit there.
You just sit there and let all the guys die. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I talked to him. He's coming.
That's cool. Yeah, I'd like to watch him play some games again.
Him and Sylvia have their rooms booked and everything, so they're set.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually beat him at Street Fighter a few times. I was like all proud.
Dude, I hope there's a big turnout for that tournament. Like we get like at least 20 to 30 people.
Well, it's just an unofficial tournament. We just,
Well, yeah.
It's fun.
It randomly just happens. Like someone will just start playing, and then people will sort of gather around, and then it starts going back and forth, and then all of a sudden there's a big crowd, and then.
It was the same with the Warlords too.
Yeah.
Did you guys listen to the Arcade Outsiders from last week? John added an intro with Steve on there.
No, I haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, my wife told me because my wife was listening to it on the way into work, and she's like, "Oh, they added he talked to Steve for like 15 minutes before the episode, just I guess trying to emphasize that Grinkers was still on and all that kind of stuff." And they kept mentioning like the main game tournament and the whatever it was, the challenge, the Tato challenge, but they kept forgetting there was actually 3 tournaments last year. There was actually a black and white challenge as well.
Yeah.
They kept forgetting that. All I kept saying was that there was 2 tournaments. I'm like, I think there was 3 tournaments. So I don't know if they're planning on doing only 2 or if they're going to do 3 or what.
Yeah, we haven't really started sorting that out yet.
Yeah, the only thing not that I have any say anything, the only thing I would suggest is the main tournament is to lower the amount of games that are in it, just because if there's going to be a lot of people there, to let everybody get their plays in. Because wasn't last year like 20 games or 18 games or something like that at Grinkers?
I think the main tournament only had 12? 10 or 12?
Was it? I thought it was larger. Sure you're not talking about Brofest?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about Drinkers.
I thought Grinkers had a lot more. I thought Grinkers had like 18 or something.
Yeah.
We can go to arcade and check that out one day.
Yeah, I thought there were like 13 games maybe in the main.
Okay, maybe I'm off.
But I can tell you that iRobot will probably be in this year's tournament.
Of course.
Because John picked one up, and then now Grinkers has one. Gak, so where is Gak tonight?
Yeah,
They should put Marble Madness in this year. They've talked about in years past. It's a short, hard game.
That'd be a good one.
And Eyes. But I know that I wouldn't come anywhere near. Someone's gonna get multiple millions in Eyes. I just know it. And it won't be me.
Actually, it says there's only 11 games in it.
11, okay.
Baby, Pac-Man, Burger Time, Carnival, Circus Charlie, Dragon's Lair, Earthshaker, Paperboy, Pole Position, Popeye, Super Sprint, and Versus Excite Bike.
And 90% of those are games that all 3 of those guys have or love. Or both.
I played so much Circus Charlie at the tournament, just all weekend. I'd never played it, but it grew on me. It was so hard, and I was like, I like this game.
How about they put Street Fighter 2 in there? And then we go for scores on that. It's like, I got to Balrog, yes!
Actually, I just noticed that John won the pole position, and Joe won the Paperboy, but Fett didn't win anything.
What would be Fett's game for that one? What did he choose last year?
I think he chose some of the ones in the black and white challenge.
Sure. Oh yeah, because he always liked Seawolf.
Seawolf, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if he placed in Seawolf anywhere. Oh, he came third in Seawolf. I beat him, and I'd never played it before.
You got your box of goodies there, Dave?
Yes.
Cool. So are we gameplay time?
Yeah, I can start anytime. Does it look alright for everyone? I tried to tweak my camera settings manually.
Yeah, looks good now.
All right.
Nice and contrasty.
Perfect.
My favorite game. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I suck balls. We'll see. See what happens here.
I've never made it to the second level, so.
Oh, really?
No.
All right. Well, I'll start up a game here. So first level is pretty straightforward. There's a couple of ramps. So like right here, you can jump this.
Oh.
I never do that. Ever.
You can jump on the other side too, but I usually don't go that route. And if only you guys could see me, I look like a dog paddling.
Yeah.
I just bumped the camera there.
I never do that either.
Oh.
No, that's good. Jim, is there a certain spot that you have to go in the? Is it in the middle or is it for that?
I just fucked that up. You have to go off to one side. If you go right in the center, you're gonna get sucked in that hole.
Wait, I always do one, but I never know if there's a specific spot where you're supposed to go.
Just lower up, and then just try to stay towards either the bottom or up. Boy, I'm just too much beer.
Stage fright. Too much beer. Just remember that they're dollar beers at Grinkers, so drink as much as you can, eh, Jim?
Oh boy, I can't. That's probably one of the most appealing things to Grinkers for me.
And he actually did confirm because they never talked about that before. He confirmed it on John's on the podcast.
Cool, the return of the dollar beer.
Yeah, he never mentioned anything about the food, but the beers he did say was $1. I can only assume the food was half price still too, because they're upping the prize.
Oh, cool.
So they're actually doing a pro and bro.
Oh, they are.
And the pro is going to be a $750 cash prize, and the bro is only going to be $300.
That's still pretty good for the bro.
To try to get more people to go, to I guess convince those that are good enough to go into the pro side.
Yeah.
That's cool. They took our suggestion though. That was wasn't that Crafty and I were one that talked about
this
that.
This fucking sucks. This whole first game sucked. I'm gonna have to try another one.
Yeah, there was a
Sente was suggesting.
Sente, yeah. Chris was from Seattle. He was the one that was originally suggesting that.
So I hope he doesn't sandbag and go into the bro category.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like he was in second or third place overall. So
yeah, he's a competitive player. He's good.
I was almost thinking that it'd almost be smart to take the top 3 out of each category from the previous year, and they automatically are pro in that category next year.
No matter what.
No matter what, yeah.
Oh man, that means Andrew would be pro on Tato Classic.
Well, I don't think we're going to do the same games again.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, my God.
How many beers?
Then you're drunk.
I've been drinking these Fulton Maytrees. It's a new beer that they came up with, and it's 9.5%. And I've been drinking them like a Bud Light.
Oh, no.
Isn't that right, Dave?
What that? Not your dad's root beer. Has anybody been drinking that?
I actually like Coney
Ty
Island.
Ty has been.
God, I missed that twice. So you can jump up on this platform.
I've never seen that.
How do you jump up on there?
If I mean, this game's gonna be over quick. I'll try it again.
This is why in 2001 when I got a computer. To be honest, that's the first computer I've ever owned. Is in 2001. First thing I wanted to do was try and play Marble Madness. My neighbor helped me get a MAME, and I bought a trackball mouse just to play this game.
Wow.
That wasn't too bad.
This used to be one of my favorite games when I was younger as well. I used to play it on Commodore 64 all the time.
I just remember the sound in the arcade when I played in the arcade was unbelievable, and it was so different.
You know what's hilarious is there's one of the documentaries, I can't remember, like, let's say it's Chasing Ghosts. I don't remember which one it was, though. And during them talking to somebody, they had this music playing in the background, the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And that triggered so many memories to me, but I couldn't figure out where the hell it was from. And I just started searching like arcade background music songs, and I eventually found that it came from this.
They played
And
a lot.
then of course, I remembered that it came from here, but at the time, I just couldn't think of where it came from.
Fuck.
Video Craze, the documentary, has it with his the one guy's sons, his two kids, and they're playing and they love Marble Madness.
That could have been where it was from. I have that documentary
That
too.
game's crazy hard.
That area makes or breaks my game every time.
As soon as I went to Fun Spot, I went right to this and punch out the games I knew. I just couldn't. I hadn't played Marble Madness since '84 in an arcade.
And I think you might have one day.
That's the goal. That's why I got this piece of shit. I'm looking at it.
All right, I'm going to see if I can jump that. Normally, I can do it about 50% of the time.
It's a diamond in the rough, Dave.
I've never seen anybody jump that, Jim. Curious.
All right, well, challenge accepted.
No pressure, no pressure. Who cares? Oh, you got balls. I never did that because that's why I always fucking fail.
I wonder how much a good trackball in this really makes a difference. Because a lot of times you went to the arcade and those things were never kept up properly. I bet you that makes a huge difference.
Well, any of your games, really, right? I mean, my God.
Yeah, but this one's like this one has a lot of precise control you need to do to not fall off and stuff. Like Centipede is. Centipede, sure, it matters, but I don't think it matters as precisely as this one does.
All right, let's try this shit.
I agree with that one. Do it. I want to see this.
Oh!
Holy Christ!
Woo! Oh, I'm sucking now, though.
Oh.
You had me at hello, Jim. Just at the fact that you jumped that.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I'm just happy I did that. Just to show
So, Jim,
you.
do you know the fastest route for every level?
Nope, because I can't get past the 5th stage, and that's on a I played one game completely sober before the podcast tonight, and made it to the 5th stage, and that's like the 4th time that's ever happened.
Jim, when these horns go off, that was always like a boner for me as a fucking little kid. Oh, you knew you made it that far. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Wah, wah.
The first Marble Madness I ever played was on an Apple IIe, though.
Oh, wow.
And it was my neighbors. They had a black and white monitor hooked up to it and a joystick. And I thought it was the greatest game ever.
See, for me, this is totally arcade. And it's funny talking about System 1 games. My brother's 18 months younger than me, and he remembers Peter Pack-Rat. I don't remember. I never played it.
I've never seen one of those.
He remembers
at
it.
least not as a kid. Fuck. I can't talk. Well, I can't do two things at once. Whatever. You got to see it.
I saw
I
it.
got.
Yeah, Peter Pack-Rat has sort of similar music and stuff in it too. Sort of similar sounding.
Fuck it. I'm gonna do another. I'm gonna do eyes too while it's still on. I'm gonna. You guys can talk about whatever. I gotta reset everything up.
Thank you all for coming to
What?
Sorry,
Thank you all.
That's an awesome link. I posted a link to the post-mortem from the original Atari developers who did Marble Madness. And
Oh,
they
yeah,
give
I
you
watched
kind of
that.
a sneak peek on what kind of went on behind the scenes as they were developing the game, the challenges, technical challenges, and other challenges that they face and stuff like that. It was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I watched that a while back. That's pretty awesome.
There's quite a few of them out there from different games and different systems and whatnot.
Well, I definitely cannot drink, play, and or talk at the same time.
Hey, you made that jump. I'm impressed.
Well, like I said, normally it's about 50% because the angle is so weird, and you have to just you have to spin that trackball so abruptly, like fast. Like I basically wind up. It's almost like Golden Tee, except you don't have that much control panel space.
Let's say, Jim, I could drag my my computer over to play Eyes on my arcade SD.
Hell yeah!
So I'm actually show this so people can actually see the. Oh, they can't see it.
Nowhere near as good as you are.
I'm not that good
See
though.
the link.
Yeah, well, that's saying something for how I play.
If only you guys could see how this camera's rigged up. It's so ghetto because it's a webcam that sits on top of your monitor. Brad, you know. So I put the thing on top of one of the cardboard tubes that vinyl comes in, and I have it like gorilla taped to that, and then taped to a wood chair.
You don't have a tripod?
Not for something like this. All my tripods that I have use the 3/8 inch screw. So
I went to IKEA and bought a $9 desk lamp, and then I took the lamp part of it off, and I screwed I don't even know what it was. It's like a 1/4 inch bolt underneath the lamp part, and that's what my camera is sitting on. So it's totally fabricated, so I can actually easily move it around and do all sorts of crap with it.
Well, that's actually what I should do if I'm going to do more of these videos. Because, I mean, you can just get a cheap consumer-based tripod for pretty cheap. I should think about doing that.
That's what I was using before, but it was just, just little adjustments. I just had too much crap on my desk to try to really adjust the tripod around, but this thing is just kind of hanging off the edge. It makes it really easy.
Gotcha. Huh. I'll have to think about that.
Yeah. I can, here, I'll actually snap a picture with my phone, and then I'll throw it up on the screen here.
Hey, Jim, you remember what happened last time you put one of your games on the Hangout, right?
Yeah, I was actually going to make a comment about that earlier, that I'm a bit nervous having all these games on because I feel like one of them's going to crap out at any given second.
And this monitor's laid back so far, I don't know if I can get a good angle on it, though.
Oh, do we have dueling eyes going on here? Is that what's happening?
You should start at the same time and see who gets the higher score.
Oh, Jim will win. I'm terrible at Eyes.
Yeah, but once I show you my strategy for like the 5th and 6th level, I think you'll improve drastically.
5th and 6th level?
What's that?
There's a 5th and 6th level?
Yeah. You sound like me just a few months ago.
We need some dueling banjos queued up.
Ooh, there we go. Just need to tweak all my camera settings here. Now I can't remember. Does this look correct for everyone? Like, because last time I had to mirror something.
No, it looks fine.
Okay. All right.
Who should we be watching? Should we be watching Andrew, or should we be watching?
Do Andrew, because I gotta grab a beer.
Okay, Andrew, you're being presented. Somebody was mentioning earlier in the. No, actually, I probably closed my window and I've probably lost it. Somebody was commenting in the live stream chat about a game that's similar to Igor. Chuck 12 was mentioning Igor, Eggor. Says if you like or enjoy eyes, you will enjoy Igor. Says it's like the European version of eyes, but with birds, and you shoot eggs. The level mazes are similar to eyes. Has any of you guys played that before?
No.
I guess it's
Eggor, right?
Eggor, yeah. Says it's on the 412 and one.
Shit.
I'm reading Dave's comments there in the chat. Seabart, feel bad. Beer is good.
Asshole.
There you go, 131. That's all I could do today.
I think Jimbo's still finding a beer.
I mean, my best is 223, so it's still not that great.
No, that's not too bad. So I've been talking. I just realized my mic was muted. My mute was muted.
Somebody in the chat is asking if that's a hack, and I think Andrew's is Arcade SD. Is that correct, Andrew?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I'm just playing around with the settings here.
And then when we showed Jimbo's is a true eyes machine.
That looks pretty good. He's back at it. Those sounds are kick-ass.
Does anybody here remember playing Eyes ever in an arcade?
No.
I didn't even know about it until the podcast.
How about like a Jump Bug, Nibbler? Does anybody remember any of those in the arcade?
Not in the arcade, but I remember.
I remember Jump Bug.
You do?
Yep.
I remember in high school though. My friends all had the TI-85 calculators, and they had Nibbler on there, and they also had Nibbler. I think it may have been called Snakes, but it was the same game, and I didn't know there was an arcade version of that until in the recent years.
There you go, Jimbo. There's what I did.
What's up?
This is like a $6.99 IKEA lamp, and the lamp normally goes this bolted into this little thing. So I just took it all apart, got a screw, and then that just I think it's a 1/4 inch or something like that, and it just screws into the camera base.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Literally took me a minute to set it up.
Nice.
Number 5 is alive.
Nice. I love Short Circuit.
That's on your best of '80s family videos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even remember my choices on some of those. I haven't watched them for a long time. My voice was like so robotic back then.
It was a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I had no inflection in my voice.
It was good though. I liked the editing. Everything was excellent.
Oh, thanks.
I just watched it 2 days ago.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm still working on a couple new videos. Those. I mean, I had so much more time back then. Now it's like, God, that's so much fucking work. I have to come up with my list, and the editing and the writing the commentary and all that jazz it's so much more work than doing arcade videos. I understand why John does his videos the way he does, because it takes hardly any time. It's all real time.
I might have to disagree with Footloose though.
Oh, dude, Footloose is the shit.
The movie Footloose?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I don't know. Kevin Bacon was like a big deal back then.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to like, if you're talking like dance movies and you're talking like Dirty Dancing, Flashdance, Footloose just trumps them all.
In like I want to say whatever year Footloose came out, I think '85.
Yeah, that was a big year for movies in general.
So I went to a Catholic grammar school, and we had like my dad had a Betamax, and in 6th grade we brought the Betamax into my classroom. We watched Michael Jackson's Making of Thriller and
dude, that's
Raiders of
sweet.
the Lost Ark. Like
I'm wearing a Thriller shirt tonight.
So we brought it into the class, watched the movie. So in 7th grade, I did the same thing. My father brought a VCR because everyone didn't have VCRs then. And then the teacher said, let's have a vote on which movie we wanted to watch. And I wanted to say Last Starfighter.
Oh, nice.
And everyone else voted for Footloose, in which I didn't see in the theater.
Okay, I understand your frustration then.
Yes, because I wanted Last Starfighter, and they chose Footloose, which I never saw, and I hated it. And I'm like, God, I could be watching Last Starfighter right now during school. But she did the right thing. She chose, and there's girls in the class, your 7th grade, and Footloose won. So I always have like I'm kind of mad about the
Yeah, but you saw my other
Still
videos.
holding the grudge on after all these years.
Yeah. but you saw my videos, and Last Starfighter was way up there on
Last
kids.
Starfighter wasn't in the
On
ones
families. It was in kids.
Like that Kevin Bacon guy. What a cock. Oh!
But he definitely got the poo-tang.
Couldn't watch
Jump back.
Last Starfighter because of you.
The Last Starfighter was a movie I only saw like a couple of years ago. Never saw it, heard of it as a kid.
Extra Lounge is and YouTube is asking, was there arcade machine in Footloose? Yes, there was a couple of scenes. The first what's the name of the song that they play? Dancing in the Sheets. There's a guy playing there's a few machines in the what was that, the cafe or whatever that they're hanging out at. But you don't actually see the machines. They're playing Pac-Man sounds, but I'm pretty sure he's playing something else. And then later on throughout the movie, there's a scene in the same cafe where they're hauling some old games out of the cafe, as if like that's a bad thing. Either that or the operator is bringing in new games, but you don't see that. But yeah, there are games in there. You just don't see the gameplay.
Does anybody on Clov have the Last Starfighter
game?
The
Props?
symbol as their avatar? Because I was also going to make that my avatar before I did the chicken wings. But
You could. I'm sure someone does, but I haven't seen one for a long time. I used to have the Lucas Barton Power Glove avatar, and then I realized that like 3 other guys had it or made it theirs afterwards. So I'm like, screw this. I'll just go to Bobby Brown, or I mean Tommy from Karate Kid with his body bag face.
Yep.
Ooh, Andrew's on a mission.
What?
He wants that 250.
Shit's making terrible decisions now, though.
Yeah, stage 4, you have to be a little respectful.
Hey Jim,
I did not spend enough time playing this game. It is a lot of fun.
What's up?
It is a lot of fun. I just have really didn't spend a lot of time playing it.
Oh, nice. Ooh, spawn. Yeah, they're always going to. So look at those 5 spots where they spawn. They're always going to spawn in those areas.
Ah, fuck.
Jim, you pronounced John Lithgow's name wrong.
Yeah, I know I butchered it. And I got all kinds of comments about that too.
Check 12 says that the Agar is a Zachariah cabinet.
Zachariah?
Yeah, actually, and I was looking that up at the Seattle show this past year in June. There actually was a guy who had a whole bunch of Zachariah cabinets there. I took a bunch of pictures of them. Whoop.
Yeah, the Zachariah cabinet for eyes is way different, and it's got like real people's eyes on the.
Oh, yeah, that one looks awesome.
That one's
it's kind of
blurry.
creepy, but yeah.
So there's the Invaders.
That's awesome.
Sea Scare.
I love the bezel on that. The curved bezel. Or not bezel,
The
marquee. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I'm
Holy
not sure.
button.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that one was. I can't remember. It's hard to see the marquee on that one.
Dude,
The
that's
MAME.
sick. It looks like a Sega cabinet.
That's Zaxxon.
Whoa,
The little,
colors.
yeah, there's a little stick on it.
That's way better than the American version.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot more colorful and spacey.
Super Cobra. And that's actually cool because the little handheld things that we were talking about a week or two ago had a very similar little joystick for the Super Cobras. What was that one? That one's got a cool bezel on it. Circular here.
Mm.
Yeah.
I just took photos with my crappy cell phone camera, so I'm not really. That was Mr. Do. That's a different one, but it's same thing, Mr. Do.
What's the history with these cabs? Are European cabs or
They're
what are
European
they?
ones. Yeah, so a lot of games like Tron, even,
right.
and a lot of games that are in the U.S., they sold the games or licensed to the European, but they had their own cabinet maker over there.
Mm.
So Zaccaria, or whatever you want to pronounce it, they made.
Yeah.
We'll just call him Zach.
Zaccaria. Some people say
Zach.
Zaccaria, some people say Zaccaria.
Zach's cabs.
There's a Lock and Chase one too. But yeah, some guy he brought his whole collection of all these cabs. I thought it was pretty cool.
Go, Andrew. Go, Andrew. The emulation on that's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
I mean, the sounds all sound like spot on.
Well, the arcade SD in general it's just pretty good emulation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
Holy shit! You got ass raped on that one.
That was a terrible idea.
Oh, this makes me want to play.
Why aren't you? I thought that we were going on.
I was gonna wait till you're done.
Oh, I was just sticking around. So.
Yeah, but I'm having fun watching you. In a non-creepy.
I have not spent nearly enough time, I think, to really be able to play this game publicly.
Oh, come on! Look at my first gameplay video. I didn't do much better than your high score.
That's sad. That's my best score.
Not at all.
My first game,
dude, I didn't even get that at Sean's place. I got two. My best game at Sean's was like 210, and I had the game.
You're getting pretty good image quality on your camera there, Andrew.
Really?
Yeah, your screen
it looks great.
Yeah, your screen looks really good. Nice colors and everything.
Nice. Cool. Well, let's see Jim play. You guys don't want to watch me.
Let me see if I can boost.
Playing. Not so good.
Boost the gain a little bit. All right. Let me hop over there.
Someday, if you guys want to sit here and watch me play Rastan for an hour.
Dude, next week you should do that.
I want to see you play Spy Hunter.
Oh.
Actually, Andrew, I never, obviously I wasn't at Grinkers last year, so I didn't get to see you play Rastan. I'd love to see some gameplay of that.
Yeah, I could do a quick run through the whole game.
Yeah, I'd love some tips too, because that game for me is ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
I thought what most impressive was him fighting the bosses in that game. This is such a pain in the ass.
I don't even know if I got into a boss in that game.
Yeah, I still watched Andrew play for a while too.
How you do them really quickly, because you don't want to fuck around with the bosses. You just kill them as quickly as you can.
All right, let me add some credits here.
You may as well.
All right. I don't know if any of the audio is going to come through, but you'll at least hear me, I guess. Unfortunately.
I can hear the credits there.
All right.
Much better angle.
Well, audio's good.
So I always start by clearing out the bottom, and then I just go straight up here. It's kind of the pattern that I fell into.
No, those corner ones, the ones on the verticals, those ones are the worst.
Yeah, absolutely. And third stage is the first level that there's 5 guys. Fourth stage is where they start getting smarter. You have to give them a little more respect. But I always fall into this zone. And this is the same pattern I'll use on the 5th stage. Usually I can get through this without dying. Usually. Not under stage fright, though.
Right.
Now my whole pattern's screwed up.
Freestyle.
After this, Dave, you need to fire up your road blasters.
I just put the tarp over it. I could plug it in. You guys can, give me advice remotely.
We'll fix that guy tonight.
Nice dodge.
Do you find yourself, you guys, like addicted just to looking at Craigslist and want to get these games that you shouldn't even get?
Yeah. I still look even though I don't have any room.
Or I look when I don't have enough money.
You gotta always look, otherwise you're not in this hobby.
About a month ago, I looked on Craigslist when I was at work, and some guy posted. It was like one of those just posted, and it was 3 games for free. They need to be gone like tonight, and I'm like sending text, emails, and I'm calling the guy, and I finally get the answer. He's someone's picking up the games now. It was an off-road. Oh God. What's the other one with the machine? There was 3 games for free, and they all worked, but he had to get them out that night, and my heart was racing. Like, oh my God, I want these games. I wanted the off-road. It was 3-player off-road, but he's like, someone's already here for free.
Free. Wow.
Damn, Jim.
That sucked.
There's a guy who was on Clav. I was reading a thread about somewhere in the Northeast that someone just likes to post Craigslist ads like. Food fight for $300. And then when you write him, he'll write you back and say, sold it for $100, sorry.
Right. What a dick.
That's all he does. Just troll people.
Is he that lonely? Does he want to?
Yes, yeah.
I could have got this road blasters for $50 or $30. I just kind of wanted to have something to work with before I drove there. So I'm like, yeah. I should
got for free. They're really pushing it. Like, I'll just get it out of here.
Yeah.
Free. It's not. It's not working. It's.
Andrew's pickup of the Shinobi, where the guy had it on Craig's for $800.
$950.
$950. And he told me I'm going to offer him $100 straight face, and he got it for 110.
A lot of those guys don't really know what they're worth. They're just throwing a number out there because they see other games on Craigslist.
Yeah.
And really, the only way I even kind of remotely took advantage of the guy was the coin door. But that's like not worth anything to anyone except a collector.
Yeah.
And I didn't buy that to flip it. And honestly, it was like, to me, it really wasn't worth much more than $100 because I just don't need another project.
That's the thing. I see deals all day long on Craigslist, but that's the last thing I need is another project. Already got a game room full of games that don't work.
So that to me automatically drives the price that I'm willing to pay down.
Right.
Well, and like you said, that guy was he just really wanted to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So when you were telling me like cash in hand, that's when they see the money, they're like, oh, wait a minute, this can be gone and you'll give me that? Okay.
Right. Yeah. You mean I'm going to buy dinner and beer tonight? Sweet. All I got to do is say yes.
Yeah.
Usually there's an angry wife on the other end too, so
that helps.
on his side. So if he can get rid of it, then it's
all right, guys. Watch
him.
this. Here's going to be a flawless fifth level. Now watch all these guys. They all bunch up. I don't have to kill one of them.
Holy shit.
I'll see if I can do it again on the 6th stage.
Yeah, one guy just rogue.
I screwed it up already. Oh, I got it. Holy shit.
Oh,
nice.
This is a stage I have no idea what the pattern is.
Well, they're moving so fast, and they shoot like before you even hit the corner.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you're in line with them. Oh, cheat like that.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, this is where I lose the most lives. Like 8th stage, I can kind of hold my own, but
What happens after the 8th stage?
it
Loops
just
back
repeats.
around? But the difficulty is still hard, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Come on, I should be able to get that last pellet.
Run, Forrest.
There we go. I should be able to get one more extra life. See, now, the enemies give you enough points where you can just hang out down here until that happens, but typically, like, you can keep killing the enemies, and you'll get, what is it, 8th stage? I think you get, like, I forget, 800 points an enemy? Yeah, because it's 100 points times the stage that you're on. So it's not terrible to just kill the enemies at that point, but I feel like the pattern or whatever on the 8th stage is a little bit more predictable than on the 7th, which I'm not sure why that is or why I feel that is. But
So how far have you gotten?
I've gotten to the 2nd, 8th stage, so I've made it through the 8th stage and on to the next one after that.
Yeah.
That was when I got that 489, which is my high score. But I basically follow the same pattern, like you saw on the 5th and 6th stage, where I clear out the bottom, I go straight up and kind of work my way around there. And as long as you don't kill the guys, like like I can totally do that on like the 5th stage, as long as you don't kill the guys and you just keep them like bunched up and following you, and you work the outer pattern and work inside. You're relatively safe because you know where all the enemies are. You don't have to worry about them all of a sudden spawning and shooting. But I might play one more game.
I played like 10, so.
I'm going to do one more. See if I can do a little bit better.
I'm going to have to sign off, guys. It's getting late for me.
Sorry, Adam.
That's all right, man. I'll catch
Thanks.
it on the video when Whip posts it up.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
You should recruit your buddy John.
Do you think? I don't see him coming in here. Do you?
I don't either. but we got Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like, he's the
Yeah,
the leader.
Joe's like an
or whatever,
average
like
guy. John
Right.
has like 60.
He's an average Joe.
Yeah, nice.
All right, guys, cool. Well, we'll see you next week.
All right.
All right.
All
Bye,
right,
Adam.
take care.
Good. See
Bye.
ya.
Bye.
Very clean. Wow.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Shit.
Nice.
Whew. So the thing to remember is that the enemies take about 5 seconds to spawn. So if you shoot them on like the outer side, you have about 5 seconds to do your stuff. Shit. Well, this is my highest score.
Fuck yeah.
High score by a long shot.
Ah! I shouldn't have looked at my score. Oh, I ran right into that fucker. Ah!
Oh, fun fucking thing. And it has, guys.
I don't need to take a picture of this one. It's recorded.
Well, guys,
Alright.
it's getting late for me, so I gotta head out. See you guys next week, huh?
Oh, you're not gonna pull that straight shift until you have to run into work?
Oh, fuck. That was a day from hell. That was I think I was up for somewhere around 23 hours.
Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah, oh, I was a zombie by the time I got home.
I believe that.
Yeah, no, it's not the worst. I once did a 30-hour day. Yeah, server went down, and I was the only person left in Canada that knew how to fix it.
Of course.
Well, the only one that had passwords, so.
Well, get some sleep, dude.
Yeah, 5 o'clock comes early. In about 3 hours.
Oh. All right, man. Well, we'll catch you next week.
Yeah. We'll talk to you next week, Chris.
Night, Chris.
See you, Chris.
Night.
All right. I'll be right back, guys.
Good game, Jim. That was fucking awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm. It's nice to be able to put up a score like that live for a change.
Yeah.
Maybe you should be drinking more.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna grab a beer. I'll be right back. All right.
Past level 4, that game is like so hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever even played Eyes before. Maybe once.
Yeah, it's such a weird game.
Yeah.
I've never seen one in the wild.
And that was one of the last, actually, just you guys were talking about like free games and crazy shit that comes up. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but there was the Nibbler and the pole position cockpit that came up for free here in Denver.
Oh, wow.
Just recently, or?
I guess it's been a couple of years now, but still, it's like, you know, a Nibbler nowadays.
Yeah, I don't see too many free. There's actually one or two games that came up recently that were 100, 150. That's like the cheapest I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never see free.
No, I think the cheapest one I ever got was $75, and it was a Donkey Kong cocktail, non-working. I bought it, took it, brought it home, and the guy just didn't know there was not an off switch underneath it.
God.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I picked up my gyrus was the same thing. I think it was about a 150-ish. I can't really remember how much I paid for that. And it was a lady, and she got divorced, and she had that and another cocktail asteroids. And she's like, "Yeah, it used to work. Yeah, plug it in, it doesn't do anything anymore." So I was like, "Okay, 150." Brought it home, plugged it in, flipped the switch on top, fired right up.
It's so
Whole
fun.
game, everything working 100%. So.
Wow. What are Nibblers worth nowadays? Are they worth something because they're rare?
People just, I couldn't tell you what the going price would be for them right now. They used to be like worthless, and now they've got value.
Well, all the rock colas and all that stuff used to be worth nothing. Nobody wanted rock colas or any of those machines back in the day.
Any of the oddball machines, yeah, the oddball manufacturers.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny because back when I first started collecting, some of the mainstream ones were cheap because there were so many of them.
Yeah.
But then some other ones, like I remember, God, like 20 years ago, seeing a Frogger go for $1,200 at an auction, and that was like, I don't think there was an arcade game that went for 150, and all of a sudden this Frogger went for like $1,200, and it's just the right two people bidding for the damn thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's like you can't. I mean, up here anyways, the games just don't come very often up here. Period. Like there's one comes up maybe once a week kind of thing.
Well, it's definitely the same basic shit we see every day on Craigslist. It's the same stuff, and there's stuff that hangs out there for a long time around here.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's just like overpriced, and we actually have a lot of games in Denver.
Well, I mean, how's Exidy picking up all this shit? Like I said on Facebook, he's been posting like for the last 5 days. He's got new machines every day.
He has
all the time.
network.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. I had cards made and everything. I've just been trying to hand that shit out to everybody.
Yeah, people come to him more than he goes looking for games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know other people up here that the same thing's happening to them, and they've been collecting for like 3 years, and I've been collecting for like 22 years, and that never happens to me. And I'm like, I got cards sending out to everybody, and I don't know if it's because I live in the suburbs and they live in the city or what it is, but it's weird how it happens up here. And most of those guys that are getting contacted, they're all flippers. Like there's very few collectors in Vancouver. Like me and maybe another person. Like that's it. Everybody else is, maybe has one game, maybe two, and they keep buying every week or every time they can, and they flip them. It's frustrating a little bit. Not that I have much room for anything else. I don't think I can actually, even if I figured out use some sort of 3D software and wrote a computer algorithm to crunch numbers and try to fit every game in as perfect as it can, there's no way in hell I'd get all these things in here, I don't think. So at some point I'm going to have to, I don't know, build some sort of external building or something.
Well,
or sell some, I guess.
So that's the dream there, right? Isn't it? Build the external building and have it.
Yeah, and I don't. Like, I've already built some fairly big sheds and kind of garages. Like I don't have a problem building stuff at all. It's just I've got all the tools. I've got everything to do that. It's just a matter of deciding if I want to go the correct route and getting permits or not.
What about a yurt?
All those kind of things where I live are all illegal.
Oh, really? Like temporary? Well, I guess they're semi-permanent structures, or.
Yeah, if you have anything, you're not allowed to have anything that's temporary, and anything that's permanent has to be done to code.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like even decks and sheds have to be done to like housing code. It's kind of crazy here. There's reasons for it. There's a lot of people from other countries that came in here, and then I mean they just cheat the system left, right, and center, and have forced the government to kind of get tight on all their rules and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, how would you like to buy a house or a property that has outbuildings on it and find out that it was all just built by some dude with a hammer and a pack of nails and it's just done for shit.
Yeah, it's not even that. I mean, we have. I mean, I don't want to get into the race thing, but we have a big South Asian population here, India mostly.
How dare you?
And that's not really getting racist. It's just that they believe in their entire family living in one house. So you'll see 4, 5 generations living in one house, and on a regular kind of quarter-acre size lot, they'll have a 9,000 square foot house on it.
Right.
And there's basically just house, asphalt for their driveway, and that's it. 4 feet around the house kind of thing to the neighbors, and that's it. And there's houses that are over that size just on a regular quarter-acre lots in my area. So it gets kind of crazy. So and then they do the same thing where they when they're building a house, like the garage, let's say, they'll build hidden doorways, with headers and stuff like that in the wall, and then they'll wall over it. And once the inspection's done, they board up the front doors and they cut open the hidden doorways, and all of a sudden they've got suites in their garage. They all have multiple 220 lines and exhaust lines for hot tubs and saunas, where they're really actually just for washing machines and stoves and ovens. So they have ways of getting around the system, and everything's just made it really hard for everybody, even them, to get permits for things now. It's really difficult.
What do you mean, those people?
Huh? Anybody who wants to build anything.
Those people.
Nice.
Anybody, including the people that are like them people, including the people that are that are ripping the system off. It's hard for them to get permits. It's hard for the people who are honest to get permits. It's just hard for everybody to get anything done now because it takes months and months to get a permit to go through just for like a garden shed.
Oh wow.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, everything's. It's just that's what I'm saying. It's not a race thing. It's just the government's tightened down on so many things that you can't do anything here anymore.
Hard to have it both ways, though.
Pardon?
Hard to have it both ways. I mean, you want something.
No, I agree. I totally agree.
But at the same time, it's like, yeah, then you've got bureaucracy that you have to cut through.
Yeah, I mean, it's certain things like, okay, they don't. I mentioned this before. They don't allow shipping containers where I live. They're illegal, and it's basically because, well, they're an eyesore. Well, they don't have any, things in the bylaws saying that, well, what happens if I clad the whole thing in cedar and it ends up looking like a shed or a house? Yet they're earthquake proof and they're stronger than a wood framed house, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they just don't allow it. No, you can't have a shipping container. What it looks like doesn't matter. And it's like, well, that's kind of not looking at the whole picture. I mean, it's Vancouver's trying to be a super green city, yet they don't allow shipping containers, which is a huge problem around the world because there's like 300 million of them sitting in lots, not doing anything, all around the world. And it's like, well, build cheap, housing and build cheap sheds and stuff like that with it, but they don't allow it just because they could be, an eyesore. Just it sucks. Because I would do that. I would just put a shipping container out here. I'd clad it in cedar because cedar is abundant here. And I would just run electrical out to it, and boom, there's an arcade room or a workshop or whatever it is. Get more room in my house, and it would literally could be done in a weekend. But they don't allow it.
The great score on eyes there, Jim.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, Jim's back.
That was fucking. I'm so stoked that you actually just did that on air here.
It's nice. I don't have to grab my camera and take a photo and update my thread. Maybe I should anyways, just to annoy everyone.
Should we just send us to Twin Galaxies or Arcade? And
yeah, they'll laugh and be like, "Yeah, our high score is like 20 million." I'll be like, "Yeah, fuck you."
Just tell them to look at what is it, hour 3, 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
What is the arcade high score for eyes?
It's up there. It's I can tell you because I had it. It's 4 million. So I would be ranked 6th according to their scoreboard.
Why not do it?
Is that even legit?
You have to have your machine checked out by a ref.
Right. I'll do it at Grinkers.
Do it at Grinkers. It's all official there.
Speaking of well, you were on when I was talking about how I got a message that a guy's got an Arkanoid Revenge of Doe board and a spinner.
Outstanding.
I'm waiting to hear back from Steve. It's too bad he didn't join tonight because
he said he was going to, but I'm not sure what happened to him.
He got drunk.
Yeah.
He said he was drinking some beers. Yes.
Well, I'm saying.
Because honestly, if he has, because who is it, Hattrick, that does all of his
I think
stuff
so.
there? All he has to do is throw it into any cabinet that has a vertical monitor. I mean, if he's got like a beat up pack cab, it doesn't matter.
I think it's a pair of Galagas.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the way to go because those boards have become as uncommon as the complete game itself.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he can get a decent deal from the dude that sent me a message, that'd be the way to go.
Like I said, I got mine a month or two ago for $100, so you'll have a baseline of.
Yeah.
But they're not that expensive yet.
Right.
It's not expensive. It's so much just putting your fingers on them.
Yeah. Well, and it's nice too that it's JAMA. So I mean that by itself makes it pretty easy.
There's an Arkanoid cocktail for sale in my area for $300.
Huh.
Has been for sale for a while now.
I feel like
I think it's a Revenge of Doe too.
That's a great game. I think I have a couple. I have a regular Arkanoid board, and a tournament edition, I think, in storage somewhere.
I can just bring the whole damn cocktail down to Grinkers.
Do it. That'll be our project for Thursday before we're completely shit-faced. Or
The problem is,
he already will be.
The problem is I don't want to drive my truck that probably gets 12 miles a gallon. I'd rather drive my Honda Accord that gets like 35 miles a gallon.
Oh, hell yeah. Come on, you can fit that in the trunk somehow, right? Just throw some rope around it.
Arkanoid cocktail, 350 Canadian, so it'll probably be like 250 American.
That's about right.
Doesn't say if it's a doe or not though, so I'm gonna guess it's probably not, but no, it's just regular Arkanoid.
Okay.
86. That's just regular Arkanoid, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Even those games are so good though. I mean, all the Arkanoids are fun. It's Breakout. I mean, it's just with a few additional things.
Well, I think I mentioned that to you guys last week. That was one of my big ones when I was a kid. My first console was that little Atari Video Pinball, and it had Breakout on it, and I absolutely love Breakout to this day.
That was my mom's favorite game on the Atari 2600, and then when I got Revenge of Doe, she was excited to play because she's like, this is just like Breakout.
Yeah. That's why I like the Atari Video Pinball, because it actually had a spinner on it too.
Yep.
You didn't have to use a joystick or anything. It was actually pretty cool.
Right, and on Atari it was the paddle controls.
Oh yeah, right. You had the paddles. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
I still say the Atari, but I mean that's what I remember as a kid calling it.
That's what we called it.
Like who called Nintendo NES? No one.
Nobody. Well, they only call it NES because there's the Super NES, right?
Yeah, and
to distinguish
nowadays.
the two.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
There was never really a second Atari console that people had.
No, I knew one person that had the 5200.
Yeah, I mean, nobody had that really.
Right. I knew a few people that had the 7800, which was awesome.
Yeah. I knew someone that had the 78. I was jealous of their Pac-Man because the 2600 Pac-Man sucked so hard.
Yeah, Miss Pac-Man was good, but I mean, I remember playing Commando on the 78 and Xevious, and I thought it was the best thing ever.
So I just went right from my Intellivision was the last one I had. I went right from that to the Commodore 64. I never had an NES, never had a Super NES, never had a Genesis.
That was pretty late. I
bought them all afterwards, but
I
don't know, you could play everything on the Commodore though. I mean, there was like tens and tens of thousands of games, like 40, 50, 60,000 games put out for that thing. So, I mean, there was everything. Like, I could play Super Mario Brothers on my 64. It was available.
Nice.
Yeah. Of course, you didn't have to pay for anything. You just found friends that you just copied discs all the time. That was even better. Screw this paying $40, $50 for a cartridge.
See, I never knew anyone that had a Commodore, but I knew I had a couple friends that had. I don't know which Atari computer it was at the time, but that was all elite to me. And then later on, friends that had like the Apple computers, like the 2Es and stuff, and like the 386s. I think my parents' first computer, I think, was like a 486, and we only had
4630 or something like that.
Yeah, we only had a couple games for that, but point the master disc and then putting the program disc in, and away you went.
The thing that blew my mind was my Commodore 64 when Maniac Mansion came out. Do you guys remember that?
Hell yeah. Well, my wife's in bed, but that's how I got some action because a girl that I was dating at the time kept talking
That's sad.
kept talking up how great because so when I was in early college when I was 19 maybe 20 one of the girls that I was totally into we would get talking about old NES games and how great they were and stuff, and she's like, oh, I remember playing. There was a Mappy game on NES, and then Maniac Mansion. I'd never played either of them, so I bought them on eBay for $3 or whatever. And so I got them. She's like, "Oh my god!" So she came over, and I was like, "Yes!" Came over to my place, and that's the only time I was introduced to them.
We bought Maniac Mansion at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo last year. My wife wanted a copy of it for the NES just to play it. So we got one, but that game literally blew my mind when I was a kid, and I don't think, other than playing lacrosse, I played lacrosse when I was forever. Other than leave my house to play that or to mow the lawn, I don't think I left my room that entire summer. I just played Maniac Mansion the whole freaking time every day.
That game is nuts. Without the internet, that is the spitting image of trial and error.
Yep.
Fail. Oh wait, I have to turn the oven on and then do this, and it's like, what the fuck?
You have to get two kids who are up in this room to do one thing while the other person's trapped in a dungeon to do this other thing.
It's crazy. It's awesome, but that it's a big reward when you figure something out. We were playing that game for hours, and I so want to just go let me look that up. And no, you can't do that. We have to figure this out. I'm like, oh, great.
Oh yeah, there was no looking anything up when I had it. There was no such thing as the web yet. And
there was points in that game though where you could get stuck, and you think that you're just missing an item or something, but you're actually at a point where you can't go further because you screwed something up. You're gonna have to load an older game. But if you didn't know that, and you keep trying and trying and trying, you get, what am I doing wrong? It's because you didn't pick something up that you can't get now.
Or you didn't do something in the right order. You picked one thing up before the other thing or something like that.
Yeah, right. There's a couple little weird glitch things like that where you can't proceed in that game if you didn't pick up this or do that, And that was one of the frustrating things I thought. Did you guys ever play Full Throttle?
Yep. I still have my original disc somewhere.
That was an old LucasArts title.
Yeah.
That's what Maniac Mansion was, too.
Yeah, sort of the similar...
Maniac Mansion was their very first Lucasfilm game.
Yeah. Day of the Tentacle and things like that.
Yeah, one that a lot of people didn't know, it was the kind of sequel to Maniac Mansion. That was Zach McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders.
What was that on the NES, too?
I don't know. I played it on the 64, so I don't remember. But
okay.
They actually there was references. There's references to Maniac Mansion because in Maniac Mansion, in the garage, I remember this plain as day. There was a gas can in the garage that you thought you could do something with it, but if you tried it, it blew up the Edsel that was in the car, and the game was over. And so you're always trying to figure out what the hell to do with this, like a jerry can, like a gas can. You're trying to figure out what the hell to do with it. And then Zach McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders, you actually play, at one point, people on Earth and also people on Mars at the very same time. And on Mars, there's a face on Mars, and you went into it, and there was a Foot Locker in there, and you open it up, and that fucking jerry can was sitting in the Foot Locker on Mars, and you're like, oh my god, does this have something to do with Maniac Mansion? Is there some way these games cross over to each other? But on Zach McCracken, you never used the jerry can either. It was just a dummy prop to screw with your brain in both games.
See what I mean?
Yeah. But that's what was awesome about them, because you had to totally figure things out and figure out how things work.
Yeah. I like how funny the games were, though. They're pretty funny games.
So Orange Whip. So Brad, there's actually we've got a spammer in on, I don't know if you've seen this on YouTube, and there's people like, can we kick this guy because all he keeps putting is.
Wait, what's the link to the chat? I always forget to do that.
I'll post it here.
It's the same guy that used to do that. That's why I got rid of comments.
Oh yeah.
It's the same guy that was doing that in comments. How do I?
How do we get like?
Well, you can Oh, I got him. We can remove him. Block user. He's
Oh,
blocked.
there you go.
It's got nothing to do.
It just amazes me. There were 9 people, including myself, like on the YouTube chat or whatever, and and when somehow one of those is someone like that.
If you click on his name, Jim, as well, and you can actually report the user on his channel.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, now we got another one.
Oh, he probably has a whole bunch of freaking.
I'm sure.
Clever.
Yeah. If only Derek was in here.
Like, why would you bother to come into a channel with like 2 people watching and do that?
Yeah. That's what blows my mind.
I mean,
Yeah, I think it's the same guy that was doing it in the chat before.
Extra nonsense. Gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's chill.
He'd be like, look at me, or looky
It's funny.
here now.
It's funny. The second that I block him, it just shows
There's
up as
Yeah, there's a different user.
it like almost instantly it does it. So he's probably got some bot.
I'm sure. Whatever. I mean, no one watching this later will see that. So
No, and to be honest, like, what a waste of your time.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't really get the point. Like when you said spammer, I thought maybe it was like selling, pills or whatever, Viagra,
Yeah, I think it was the same guy. I think it was the same guy that was doing it in the comments before. The first name that he had there.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I don't have, because I think Mock was asking me before, how come you don't have comments on? Well, there's your gentleman is the reason why I don't have comments on. Because he literally put like 100 or 130 comments in like episode 2 or something like that. I was like, what the hell?
Well, if he's gonna spam us, can he at least subscribe to our channel?
Give us a thumbs up.
Oh, we got 12 now. I wonder how many of those are this dude's bots or spam accounts.
Probably all of them except for you.
He's got a vast vocabulary.
Yeah.
Oh well, we're giving him what he wants to.
Yeah, whatever. So let's see, what else should we talk about? I got some time yet.
It's 12:30. I might actually have to talk pretty soon.
Boo earns.
Yeah, me too. I think
Well, at least you're not playing Gradius. I'd have to drop out.
Gameplay Gradius?
That's just terrible. Could he at least put Gradius on the other side so I can't see it?
I think it's Castlevania on the other side.
What's that?
Castlevania.
Oh, Castlevania. Yeah.
I actually had to turn it down because it was running.
That's what I did with Dr. Mario because the track noise. Like when my cousins came over, I was like, they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm turning up the sound because normally I have this muted."
Yeah. I actually had to turn off the sound for Star Wars, Hubert, well, no, not Defender. And then just Castlevania.
Yeah. Does Gradius have does it have? Can you mute it? Or I mean, like, does it have a dip switch setting, or does it just not have a track sound?
I don't think it has a track sound.
Oh, I thought it did. Maybe not. Well, look at that. He doesn't even have it locked down.
At home?
Yeah. Good point.
Hey, Andrew, does your Qwertz kicker work?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. No, it doesn't have a track. Because now it's fucking playing.
Hey, so do you know? Like, I saw, was it Nazarene on Clav? I saw he updated a post saying that he's got like the latest revision of the board is supposed to he's supposed to be testing like mid September or mid this month, I guess.
Oh, this is for the multi.
Yeah,
That's outstanding news.
that's what he posted because I was looking that up because I'm like I'm getting impatient. Do I seek out a Gradius daughter card and all that work, or do I, you know, just hold out for that?
Hold out for that. I mean, if he's already getting ready to test,
Right.
that's fucking sweet.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. That game's so cool.
Hey, Andrew, Extra in the YouTube chat was asking about your Robotron, if it works. So I was telling him, yeah, it works great. Really nice monitor, cocktail's in great shape.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It is sweet. Yeah, check that out.
Can't play it one-handed very well, but yeah, no, cocktail works great.
How long have you had that?
2-3 years.
That's pretty sweet. I've never seen a Robotron cocktail. That'd be awesome.
They're pretty uncommon. What the run numbers are something like 350, something like that.
Wow.
You like that, Aaron?
What? Yeah, I hope Andrew can get a Robotron upright so that I can convince him to part with that cocktail.
Yeah. Crafty's first in line for when I sell that thing. But
Hey,
that's
Craft.
an upright is that if I got an upright, I could actually put two more games in if I got rid of the cocktail.
And the upright would be easier for you to play because that one's kind of low.
Yeah. So my plan with this one would be someday to build like a pedestal like track and field, the cocktail.
That's a good price, by the way.
Yeah, it's real good.
Which price?
800.
Yeah, they usually go for 1,000 or more here in California.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's not a cocktail. I'm just talking about the stand-up.
oh, a stand-up, yeah.
I don't know if normal cocktails. So like I said, I hardly ever see them. If I've ever seen them.
You can definitely tell that's a collector's post because there's pictures of everything.
Yeah, everything. Yeah. That's the one thing that I could do to mine. Mine at some point they replaced the glass.
Oh, right.
I do have tinted glass on the top of mine, but I have everything that's underneath that in that picture you were just showing, Brad. My lower bezel and all that stuff is in great shape, so I could just replace the glass and then put those decals on, and it would be 100% original.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a nice little unit.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
remember.
Crafty, do you have a? I was going to ask you, do you have a basement or is it a garage for your games?
I've got an unfinished basement that I'm going to use. That's where my games are going once it's finished.
Oh.
But right now they're in the garage. But I think I'm going to start moving them down there anyway, and just try to move them around while the basement's finished. Because I don't have a lot of space in the garage, and I'm out of space right now.
You should do a tour or something of it. I haven't seen it. Cool to check out.
I took Andrew down to the basement.
Are you kidding? I fucking helped you schlep that MK2 down there.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Andrew helped me move this MK2 down my stairs, and the basement stairs aren't straight. They have a 90 in them. it does a full 90 turn.
Yeah.
So it was a beast. That cabinet basically took up the entire pad at the bottom of the first landing. So we had to like get it half up on the dolly on the next step and kind of like turn it in midair. It was pretty nuts.
Wow.
Those things are heavy. There was no monitor, no control panel. I took everything out. It was just the wood, and it weighed a ton.
That's some heavy wood.
That is some heavy wood, some hardwood.
Crafty slinging some heavy wood.
Yep, I got some hardwood in that cabinet. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, there's something about Robotron or cocktails. Yeah, now I can't remember, but
Did you, let's see, who posted? Oops, in the Arcade Outsiders thread. Did you see my Japanese guy link? I forget what episode that. It's like 38 or something like that. Sean does. I didn't realize it. Like I forgot. I totally forgot about that episode. But Sean does that sound like 30 times at least in that episode. And I've thought about it, and I think I'm just going to cut them all together into one clip. Like every one that he does, like all into one little segment.
And I thought it was like a sound effect, but it's him.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the same guy. Probably not. It's a different Japanese guy.
Nagi or whatever. Yeah. In YouTube. What's the PCB DP? Isn't he? Yeah, he's from Tokyo. I wonder if that's a dude that originally said he was gonna make it.
Oh.
But he said in that thread that if his travel plans are correct, he'll be near Grinkers when the event goes off, and he said he'll bring sake.
All right. Well, there's near like I'll be in Utah, or there's like near like I'll be in Boise. So.
Right. Like relatively speaking, what does that mean exactly? If you're all the way from Tokyo, Japan, and you'll be near Grinkers, does that mean 1,000 miles? 500 miles? 5 miles?
Well, hopefully you can make it. We got to get some international visitors. That gives it like legit cred, and we've got people flying in from around the world.
Oh, Nagi just said he's from, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm sorry if I butcher your name here, but he says he's from Germany.
Germany? Oh, okay. Why do we think he was from Japan?
I have no idea. Because we're racist.
He's missing.
Yeah, and Andrew, you should suggest to John that have some sort of prize for this person coming to Grinkers.
I think we did a gift certificate or not a gift, but like a winner certificate thing last year.
Yeah, because I forget who it was, but did Damien get that? Damien got the longest ride to Grinkers.
Yeah,
That's true.
And most hours spent behind Grinkers sleeping on the bank.
Oh.
Whoa! I see a fridge next to your Donkey Kong.
There is.
So you grab a sandwich and play some games. Is that how it works?
Who, me?
Yeah, well, you're the one at the fridge next to your Donkey Kong.
Well, this is actually my garage. So that's like the garage fridge with the.
Oh, is that the beer fridge? Oh yeah. Wait, it looks pretty wimpy to me.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Wait, I'm gonna go up and see if I can get closer here. It's kind of funny what's because I do have kids, and there's mostly juice boxes. I think in here right now it's pretty empty.
Why am I presenting to everyone?
Because we love your face. It's the glasses. The frames are immaculate.
Thanks.
That is weak. Look at that. He's got like a Bud Light. Go back to that.
There's a Bud Light.
We got a Coors Light. It looks like.
I'm not even turning the camera on.
I will. I put the beers.
I was just gonna say you're Mr. Domestic, aren't you? I'm not prejudiced though. I've just been drinking a lot of heavy beer.
Hey, what do you mean those people there, Jim?
Those people. I just said he's one of those domestics.
Those people.
And here we'll
Wait.
put.
We didn't even cover what everyone's drinking tonight. So, Andrew, what are you drinking?
I was drinking Guinness earlier, and then I
Nice.
switched over to Shipyard's Pumpkin Ale,
Ah.
which is, I have to say, for as light of an alcohol, it's only a 4.5 ABV. This is outstanding flavor-wise, though.
Well, that's like the Lonely Blondes that I like to drink from Fulton out here, and those are 4.8, and they go down like candy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm glad that Dave, I'm just giving you shit. I'm glad that you're just drinking something. I don't care what it is. and you probably feel the same about me.
Of course.
Milk jug.
McDonald's.
Wow.
It's from a Happy Meal. It's in the refrigerator.
Oh,
Is that alcohol?
It's dirty.
yeah, I got a Happy Meal.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, geez, we're going there.
Have to get the
No,
burn
really?
marks.
I got the toy. No.
You see the burn marks on the player 1 and 2? Right there.
Actually, I really can't. There's.
Oh yeah, I see those.
Well, they aren't original buttons anyway.
No, I know.
Well, the right one might be.
Why you gotta be like that? Why you gotta bring them down? I have an original black button. If you need one, I almost responded to a thread about a guy looking for a crimson, but I'm like, that I only have one spare.
Yeah, he needs a dark blue one.
On the junior, what are the color? Is it the same dark blue?
Is that
Yeah, so there should be
is
dark blue.
that actually black, or is that just really dark? Like, is it just the camera?
It's just
It's dark. It's not original. I don't think that's an original button.
no, the one on the right looked like it was a dark blue.
Yeah, it is a dark. I don't know. It's so dark. I haven't seen an original Donkey Kong in forever. It's almost like.
If it is, clean that shit and retrobread it. It'll come right back.
No, it's got cigarette burns on the.
That's
the
okay.
button. I mean, it's melted.
Yeah, but you can still bring the color back.
It's bad though. No, this button's got to go.
Brad, are you able to talk? No, he's done. So I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. It was a great talk. And since Brad can't talk us out, I'll go ahead and talk us out.
All right.
Thanks to Jim. Thanks to Aaron. Thanks to Brad. Dave from Buffalo. Mock the Magic Man Steve. Thank you so much. Buffett earlier.
Yeah.
Our regular listeners, we appreciate you guys. The subscriptions to the channel. Hope you guys are enjoying what we're putting out here. It's really is just us hanging out. I can't believe you're actually fucking watching, but you are.
It is in the description, Hangout.
It is, yeah.
That's right. We
It's a
promise.
Hangout.
We're adding a little bit of structure to this whole thing, but you know, it's still kind of meant to be chaotic, and it is. So
Loose format.
yeah, well, thanks.
That's the way we should do it.
And we'll see y'all next week.
Out.
All right. Take it easy, everybody.
All right.
See ya.
Next time. Thank you all.